Okay, I want to show you guys this scene. We're gonna jump into it if you're good.
Excellent. Let's do it.
Yes.
Just ignore me.
This was
please.
from the second movie, and there was a part in the end of the second movie where I was like, "You guys need to wait till we see it."
Okay.
And I just want to play this for you.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, but I didn't think we came to the...
I just want you to listen to it. And a friend in the podcast, Jenn is ready. In the podcast, I'm just going to cut this part. But you just have to listen to this. This is kind of what goes on.
You shall not harm.
Oh my
What
goodness.
he says.
He was about to do the Avada Kedavra curse
He was
on Harry Potter.
on Harry Potter. He started saying Avada,
Kedavra.
and he was about to do the killing curse
my goodness.
on Harry Potter right here.
What?
In the movie.
He was about to try and kill Harry Potter.
It wasn't in the books, obviously, but they
Yeah, why
threw this
they-
in the movie because the fourth book was already out and they knew what the killing curse. So they're like, let's just throw this in there. How insane is that?
That's nuts.
Definitely dark.
Well, at least in the movies, they're clearly mischaracterizing a lot of people in the movies. But
Wow.
that's kind of nuts for a lot of reasons. Was he that mad over a house elf? Or maybe he was just waiting for an opportunity to do that anyway.
That's your reaction, and obviously you're used to doing illegal curses all the time.
Like all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
That's true.
That's so intense.
Isn't that wild?
Yes, I'm back.
That's a good idea.
back.
Wow,
Back it
I
up.
can't believe
That's also about
do
butts.
that.
That's why I sang that.
So there's one thing that I gave for you guys. We haven't really. Well, we're gonna come into contact with one more thing tonight that I said. Just wait. There's something that comes up in one part of the books, and we're gonna hit one of those parts of the books that I've been really excited about. This is one part that I'm really excited about. It's a funny, stupid little point, but I'm excited about this one. So, yeah, we are on to these chapters.
My question is also, would Harry have died, or would it have
Bounced off
been
again?
the bounce off just like it did for Voldemort?
Yeah, I
like,
don't know.
is Harry immune to the curse always? If it was his mother's love that blocked it, does it still
Yeah,
carry
but
through
then
to now?
Dobby is really powerful if he can stop it.
Yeah,
True. But also, Dobby got his spell off first.
Yeah.
So there might have been a timing thing. Whoa, what if Dobby jumped in the way and also got hit? Then Harry would have had a double love shield.
Oh, you're
Oh, man.
no way getting through that.
And it would be a half elf love shield. That'd be intense.
Different kinds of magic too.
That'd be pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, for real.
I'm glad that Dobby's not dead and Harry's not dead.
But Dobby's magic was blue. Is that always how it is?
No,
Yeah.
they just kind of depicted that in the movies. It was a weird little thing.
I was gonna say maybe that's more of like a creature, like a natural creatures.
Oh,
Yeah.
could be. Yeah, they could have had some. Yeah. I do like that we got a little more of the Lucius anger, because in the books, I feel like we didn't like him more because we got the Burks. What's the
Something.
Bourbon
and Bots.
Bourbon and Burks.
Bergen and Borks.
Bergen and Boris. There we go.
Bourbon and Bots
We got
now.
that whole scene, and we got that extra time that Harry was seeing
Yes.
him there, and then there was an actual scuffle in Flourish and Blots. That was the bookstore, right?
That's the bookstore. That's the,
yeah.
yeah, that's
so
right.
that we got both of those. So in the movies, we missed some of those scenes, and it was just a minor little verbal scuffle. So it makes sense that they make him a little more annoying at the end, being angry at Harry and trying to kill him, even though we didn't really know that at the time. But I think in the books, we already have no trouble disliking his character.
It is still
yeah.
pretty wild that he goes for the killing curse.
Yeah,
now.
that is nuts. It feels silly.
Yeah.
Why? Like
he's pissed.
he
It's a little extreme.
completely lost his
But if you
self-control there.
lose your
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
but he must use it so frequently because it's. I feel like
And
when
that's
you
why it's
lose
his
your
first
temper,
reaction, right?
your first
Yeah.
reaction is something that's common.
right.
Maybe.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Wild times in the movies. And that's why, actually, never mind. These movies can get a little crazy. Anyway, who, just to start us off, who do you trust least in the books right now? In this specific book,
So many.
who is your number one suspect?
Well, now it's changing since the end
Yeah.
of these chapters.
Snape.
Ooh,
Based on the last 2 pages that we read before today, I just finished that like an hour ago. I think Snape jumped up a new level in my mind, but I'm having doubts about it too. So it's gone back and forth, but just for the sake of giving a bit of a summary, we finished chapter 23, and at the end of 23 is during the Yule Ball, and Harry and Ron are outside, and they hear Snape talking to Karkaroff, and Karkaroff has this kind of weird respect for Snape that is bizarre, like almost like gives me
Yes.
the idea that Snape is giving him commands, like maybe not, but there's an element of that. Like he's respecting what Snape has to say, and Snape is more confident than him and says, it's weird. We don't fully get what it is, but he's like, if you need to leave, then you're going to leave, but I'm going to stay. And that's like so weird. So Karkaroff was more suspicious to me until that moment. And I even kind of wanted to like Karkaroff, but I can't really. There's not enough to like about him right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to like condemn him, but I don't fully understand it. And so for me, it's got to be, the Malfoys are always kind of bad, but over the last few chapters, I think Snape has really gone to the next level.
risen to the occasion.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm leaning towards him. Even though Bagman I also don't like, but I like him as a person. I just don't trust him, but I don't think of him as being like evil or anything.
Yeah, but then the whole thing with Winky.
Well, yeah, but we
Crouch.
still there's so much mystery there.
But then we don't know where
Yeah.
Crouch
She didn't
is
specify
actually.
that he was dark.
I know, because we don't know which one's dark. I'm thinking, is it Bagman dark or Crouch
Right.
dark? And then whoever is the opposite. Like one of them's the opposite.
Like one of them is trying to stop the other secretly,
Yeah.
but they don't know it.
I just don't know who's who, yeah.
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 And then with the Snape, that kind of, like what you were saying, kind of makes sense to the whole Sirius Black thing and ignoring that Wormtail existed kind of thing, because that would kind of play into that whole storyline. Wormtail didn't exist, he died. And now Sirius Black, Snape could know that, okay, he actually was good, but he's wrongly convicted, but I want to get him back in there because I don't want anything any of the
interesting.
truth
Right.
to come out. So
Right.
maybe that's why he was so adamant about, with the kids there and getting
Oh, because it almost looked noble
Sirius
at the
Black.
time.
Yeah.
But you're saying it wasn't noble. It was because he wanted to lock Sirius up, and the only way
Maybe.
to do that effectively is to just keep the narrative going that
Yeah.
he's bad. And he can even walk out the hero, saving the kids and getting him locked up.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just don't get how Snape. Well, we're getting into the chapter 23 now, but I just don't understand how he could be so comfortable and confident when he like discovers kids in the bushes and then runs into Ron and Harry, and he brushed it off like it was no big
Yeah.
deal. Like, what are you doing here? But he didn't seem ashamed. Karkaroff did seem like nervous. Like, did they hear something? But Snape didn't even seem nervous if they heard anything. He was just kind of like,
because it's
acting like he
Ron,
didn't do
but
anything
because
wrong.
it's Ron and Harry, and he already doesn't like them, and they know that
guess.
they have a mutual dislike. So it's like, whatever you hear, I don't care what you have to say, because we both don't agree to hate each other.
I wish we
So-
knew more about Karkaroff and whether he was good or bad. Because it's a weird time. Yeah.
Weird times in the Goblet of Fire right now.
Yeah. I'm
Really
like,
weird
we
times.
really don't understand what's going on with anything.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I'm John,
Jen,
Danny.
And Kristen.
and this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Hey, give us a rating, give us a review, follow us on our subreddit. We are not even halfway through this whole journey, so we still have tons of podcasts we're going to release. So join us on our subreddit where you can kind of join in the discussion and contribute to the podcast in really fun and exciting ways. And then also, if you want merch, if you want bookmarks or stickers, just send me an email at firsttimereaders@gmail.com. You can also follow us on YouTube at First Time Readers. And enjoy this podcast on chapters 21 to 23 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Ooh.
Woo! We always do
We
that.
got
after.
that- we got
I always have
that
to either
through.
edit that out or like just put it in somewhere.
You should just tell me not to do
No,
it.
I love it. It's like our little signature. Woo! We always do it at the end too.
Like,
All
yeah,
right,
that's-
we're on the house elf liberation front chapter.
Ah, yes.
Give me a summary very quickly of what happens in this chapter.
They celebrate Harry's win, and they do some divination class, and then they go to the kitchens and talk to Dobby and Winky.
Perfect. So let's just carry on this conversation from what we were just talking about. We kind of talk about Karkaroff, Crackpot in the beginning of this chapter. Do you really, I mean, we don't really trust him at this point, but do you think he put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire? Maybe just a more specific question. Did he put Harry's name in the goblet?
Cockroach?
Mm-hmm.
It still feels like yes to me. But I feel like that's an easy answer.
I'm not convinced that he did. I think it's a real possibility, but he's not, to me, the most likely suspect. He could have told somebody to do it, but
So who do you think
I'm
it
not
is?
convinced he did.
Do you have any other?
I just
What
don't
are
know.
you?
I know all the questions are John's.
No, that's
Jen asked, you just asked like 5 of my questions, which is great. I love when you guys ask each other questions. That's my
I
favorite
doubt it.
thing ever. No, I still have the most fond memories of the first chapter of this book that we read, and you guys were just grilling each other with questions the whole time, and I got to sit back for like 10 minutes and just be mesmerized with what you were saying because it was so fun.
I don't think we shut up
fun.
at all.
We can even talk about that. It's been a while since we read that. Maybe we should reread that chapter too. What do you think of that chapter? Has anything changed for any of your perception? Who is the servant? Who is the Dark Lord's most devoted servant? How are they gonna? Why is Harry Potter necessary? How are they gonna get him? Does it all have to do with this tournament? Is it 2 separate events?
Wait, what's 2 separate events?
Like, is Voldemort planning something that is completely different from how someone at Hogwarts is putting Harry's name into the Goblet of Fire? Are there like 2 people who want to kill him?
Yeah, right.
And they're
right.
on different trajectories?
Oh, I see. I feel like no. I feel like they're in talks somehow. Because I feel like Bertha Jorkins, right? They were so excited about the information she gave up, which was the Triwizard Tournament. And so how else would... I feel like it's connected because how else would someone put Harry Potter's name into it, like coincidentally? I mean, I guess that's possible, but...
Yeah. No, I tend to think of it the same way. Like, I think of this as being all the same thing, all connected. Like, whoever did the Dark Mark is probably the one who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire. And I think at the moment, I'm assuming that is all connected to Voldemort and directly, like, that is Voldemort's most devoted servant. And the whole thing is going to come full circle. And whatever the Triwizard Tournament... I think at first I was assuming Voldemort learned about the World Cup. But now I'm thinking he learned about the Triwizard Tournament. And this whole thing, again, is about a trap for Harry. Not killing Harry. Sometimes I think it's about killing Harry. Or maybe the trap ultimately will kill him. But I think it's about getting Harry into a certain position or doing something that, like... I just don't know what it is yet. Like, why?
But I also still find it interesting because Wormtail said it could have been any wizard, right?
Right.
So I'm like, what makes Harry... Like, he still wanted Harry Potter, so I guess that's where I'm still stuck on.
Right.
So then I think, well, the Triwizard Tournament was a huge thing because then you could have any wizard too. They could could have picked anyone to be whatever this sacrifice, it feels like.
Yeah, right. It does kind of feel like that. Like, he's got to remove the wizard's soul or, like, do something like take the wizard out of him. And that's why I feel like he wants Harry because Harry is more powerful than other people or has like some element of magic other people don't have.
Because he has part of him.
Bigger, though. Well, yeah, it's true. But
I feel like it's
if
part of
any wizard would do, it's like one person. It's not multiple people. It's not like he can't just do this to 5 different wizards and keep absorbing power. Because I kind of have that idea, like absorbing another wizard's power.
I feel like he could, no?
Well, maybe, but
Voldemort
it sounds
could
like
do.
he's talking about one person. Like, if Wormtail's like, why don't we use someone else? And he's like, well, why don't we use Harry? I feel like they'd be like, well, let's do both. You know, like Bertha Jorkins first, and then some other wizard we find, and the World Cup, someone's in the woods, we'll find them. You know, great. Just start like collecting wizards. But it feels like Voldemort needs one wizard for one thing, but I don't know what that
But
is.
I also find it interesting because then now that you're saying this, Bertha Jorkins was killed by Voldemort, right? That's what
yeah.
it seems like.
It seems like it, yeah.
So now he got whatever percentage power back from killing her. So like how many wizards does it take to get him to full power? Or does Harry
power.
Potter then escalate it for him? So like if he killed Harry Potter, then is it like a faster
like
charge
energy bars,
up?
instant
That's what
recharge.
I'm thinking.
That's
Fast charge.
fascinating.
I guess I didn't think of Bertha Jorkins as being a power thing because, no offense to Bertha, she doesn't sound that powerful. So I thought of Bertha as being a knowledge thing. And
Then
maybe
why would you kill her?
because I'm thinking there's a wizardy thing about
A
learning
wizardy thing?
like somebody's thoughts if they're dead. That sounds a little harsh, but like
Wait, what?
like everything in the wizarding world seems like it's about like the hair with the polyjuice, like a person's physical body has something connected to it. So like I was thinking that she had to die in order to like do something, whether
Give
it
up all her
means,
knowledge.
Collect her thoughts.
like collect her thoughts, yeah, or like I don't know, something like that, like either absorb her power, could be something along those lines, or learn everything she knows about the Triwizard Tournament. Like maybe she refused to tell them the answer. There's truth serums and whatever, but then I think at a certain point, she's a loose end anyway, so they were probably going to have to kill her.
Do you feel
But
like-
they could do a memory charm on her and just send her anywhere.
Do you feel like there is a part where Voldemort could have read her mind? Do you think that that kind of magic exists? Where they
Yeah,
didn't even
it's
need to
been
kill her?
referenced before. Wormtail referenced it in
Dumb-
chapter 1.
Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But do a dorp.
That's a great name, Jen.
Do a dorp.
I feel like I combined Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
That is what it sounded like. But
Great.
Dumbledore could read minds, we
Thank you.
think. But I think part of the reason we were even theorizing that was just because we think Voldemort can, because Wormtail thinks he can.
She's gone.
It happens at least once a podcast. I think it'll be 4 times tonight though.
Because Wormtail does mention that though.
But I think Wormtail is a little bit deceived. I think Voldemort wants him to think he can read his mind, but it's more about he just knows
Yeah.
people and can read people really well. So but there could be an element of it, but I think it's probably other things. Or like Moody. Sorry, I'm going on all these rants, but Moody with his eye can see through things. So magic has some of this element, X-ray vision type of thing. So if Voldemort could see somebody's heartbeat, then he'd be able to tell that's another factor to consider when telling if someone's lying or something. So I'm just thinking Voldemort might not be able to read someone's mind, but with all the wizarding powers put together, you might be able to know with greater certainty what someone is thinking. Even if you can't know for sure, you could say, I think they're lying to me because their heart is beating faster and I can see something else, or there's the sneakoscope
He's
in my pocket is
sweating.
doing something. Yeah, like you just have a lot more things to consider.
So even with your son, like Daniel Taylor here, has a really good point where he says there's something about embodiment. Like even recent research into AI has found that intelligence requires a body, so there could be a connection. Because you were saying, is it possible that maybe like I'm curious what you could extract from a mind that is living versus dead versus dementored versus how like your
Right.
soul is sucked out. Does that person still have all their memories in a residual jail in their mind? Like what does that actually look like?
Right.
And if a wizard could or could not extract those, how could they do that? Wes really wants some popcorn right
I
now.
know, because I gave him some.
You can give him some more if you want.
Oh, okay.
Just keep tossing him. He'll fill up on popcorn. It'd be great. He's going to be occupied for a little while. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. That's a really great point too. The idea of embodiment.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you feel like that? And this is a whole side discussion. Do you feel like that is an actual important theme in Harry Potter? The idea of embodiment, of being like physically present. I remember you mentioned a while ago you think Harry's parents might pop up as ghosts somewhere. Do you still feel that? Do you feel like there's a lesser substance to being a ghost than there is an actual wizard?
Yeah, I think they still could as far as the wizarding world is concerned, I just have a hard time wrapping my mind around that from a storytelling perspective. I feel like it wouldn't be the right move. If death isn't final, it just kind of takes something away from the storytelling. And maybe that's part of it. Like maybe they could have been ghosts, except that she truly sacrificed herself. And that's why Harry was protected. Maybe most wizards like leaving that as a possibility when they die. Maybe they want to become a ghost, but his mom gave up that and said, forget it. I won't be a ghost. I'll just truly die. It's hard to say. I have a hard time picturing them as ghosts at this point, but in the wizarding world, I feel like you can get hints of people, like the pictures in Dumbledore's office.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, it's possible he could get a hint of his parents, but maybe not. Wes, it's right there. Go.
Wes.
There's tons of them. Yeah. But I don't know. Jen, what do you think? Are his
This is
parents
I feel
ghosts?
like this is like your.
This is my
thing.
zone?
Yeah.
The ethereal zone?
Well, what about the flat question? Do you think that Harry's parents could come back as ghosts?
I guess it's always a potential. I still don't understand the ghost thing because Hogwarts only has a few ghosts. You'd think that there would be maybe more because it seems like the non-safest place ever.
Right. Well, we saw them in the...
But how come we haven't seen ghosts outside of Hogwarts? We have not
how
encountered
can they
anyone.
travel?
It's a great question.
They could travel to Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade. I'm sure someone's died there.
But I think we even saw like the Hogwarts ghosts up there.
Or even
In the movies.
What about Diagon
maybe that's what I
Alley?
was thinking.
I'm sure someone's died there.
I'm sure.
Even in the dark. Like we haven't seen ghosts anywhere but Hogwarts.
Yeah, seriously. Is there one in Diagon Alley? That's a really interesting question. The ghost that is the shopaholic. I want to stay in Diagon Alley forever.
But then, like, what was the Dark Wizard, like, alley? What was that one called?
Yeah, Nocturne Alley.
But there should have been, I feel like,
lot
another
in
one there.
Could be, yeah.
It's interesting. We'll go to the next point because just because. There's a line that goes, so Harry has the egg. He opens it. It was a hollow and completely empty sound, but the moment Harry opened it, the most horrible noise, a loud and screechy wail, filled the room. The nearest thing to it Harry ever heard was the ghost orchestra at Nearly Headless Nick's death day party, who had all been playing the musical Saw. What do you think is in the clue that's in the egg?
I know, that was hard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It can't be something illegal, which Neville was saying, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because there's another clue that we get with Cedric later in these chapters, and
Right.
To go
when he
on
says go take a bath with it. What the heck
Great
is he
move by
talking
Cedric.
about? Why is that a great move by Cedric?
He's free and clear from Harry. He's paid his debt, and now they can be even going into the last one.
Has he paid his debt? Because Harry literally walks up to him and he goes, "Dragons, it's dragons."
Oh, and this is like a more roundabout
And Cedric
way.
goes, "Go take a bath."
I
with
just
it."
love how Cedric knew that. Like, what was he doing with the egg? Like, he was like bathing with the egg in a tub and was like, "Oh, this worked. Let me tell Harry."
That's so
I think he
funny.
did his research and he knew something.
Yeah,
about
right.
It. Yeah.
He even told him what tub to use.
Yeah, specifically, and the prefects have their own bathroom. That's like kind of weird. And there's a tub in there. It's just like the whole
Exactly.
thing.
There's a
is bizarre.
password for that bathroom.
Yeah,
Pine Fresh or something.
See,
So funny.
he's weird.
I
little
did
weird.
think it's an egg. You should probably treat it like you're a mother to this egg for a while, and just keep it around. Sleep with the egg. You know, just like
Yeah.
keep it around. I don't know why Harry is so weird about it. He's like, oh, I'll think about it later.
Because
Why would you not like be messing
Yeah.
with this all the time?
Because you procrastinate as a kid.
Yeah.
You
You
like
do.
want
I
to wait
totally
till the
get
last
it.
minute.
But
I
of
would do
all
that.
the things to procrastinate, well, maybe it's just too hard to face. He's pretending he's not even.
He has 3
going through
months
it.
though. I'd be like, okay, when the last month, February, the beginning
Yeah,
of
then,
February,
yeah.
I'll look into
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
I
He's
was
got a
doing the same
while.
thing.
Yeah,
Procrastinate through the whole
Oh,
thing.
I'm like
Oh,
the
my.
queen.
yeah, because it's like I
was the queen of
just
procrastinating.
because it's
Now not so much.
Interesting.
yeah, because then you're just like, oh, I just finished the dragon thing. Let me celebrate and just like
right.
rest.
Let me chill.
Yeah,
I need a minute to breathe,
exactly.
clear my head, and then
Maybe March.
you wait too long.
Yeah. Oh,
and then you're cramming all nighters. That was me. But then I'm wondering the water probably like muddles the screaming and maybe it's actually words.
Like you
It
could hear
dampens
it if
it.
it's underwater.
Yeah. That's because I saw a picture now. It makes sense.
What picture did you see?
It's on the cover.
On the cover?
Yep. Oh no, it's the audiobook cover.
Oh.
Darn it.
How
Now
many
it
covers
just
are you
clicked.
peeking at?
You want to see the audiobook?
Sure
You
don't.
I'm
want
gonna
to
look
see
it up now. Actually,
You can look at it.
Sure don't.
I don't want to see any of this.
Do you see it?
yeah. I can't believe they would
Yeah, that-
do
Why are
that.
you doing this to us?
It just
kidding me?
it, honestly
Yeah, you
right
gotta
now it
stop.
just hit me.
Well, at least it didn't click until now, but
Oh.
That's absurd. How they would make it that obvious.
But I honestly
You didn't know it. and
didn't know it just clicked
That's
now.
a brilliant because you just like yeah.
so
Anyway.
if someone was reading through it normally and not doing a podcast, they probably wouldn't notice. It'd be too quick.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pace,
for sure.
You know, a lot of things on their brain.
Yeah, you just keep going.
You had extra
right.
time to mull it over.
Well,
yeah.
I literally just because we're talking about it and we're like, oh, and like everything we're just saying, and
you
then I'm
naturally
like,
came to that. That was really fascinating to me. You just like hit it.
blah. Yeah, but it's because I saw pictures. I'm a visual person.
But still, that's great.
Audio, visual.
So
Did you get cups? Sorry,
I
this
didn't
is
want
totally
any Starbucks
random.
today.
They were giving out free reusable cups at Starbucks today.
free ones.
I thought they were cool
Free.
red ones.
Yeah, they were.
at every Starbucks or just
But
one.
that's not.
No, I'm saying you had to ask for it. I should have
Oh.
asked. I
And
should
it
have
had to be one of the
mentioned to her.
holiday drinks too.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, maybe. Anyway, sorry, I just got
Anyway.
totally off topic. Sorry. guys.
So Hagrid talks about how he got these creatures. He's talking to Rita. These blast and scroots. How do you think he got these?
I want to see what they look like.
What are
too.
they?
I know. I am having a
Yeah.
hard time picturing
Wait.
these things.
Me too. Can you pull it up?
Blast-ended scroots.
Is that allowed?
Um,
Is that kosher or?
I.
There was a good picture of
Where
one of
did
them.
he get them?
But
He
they're
got them
probably
from-
illegal.
You think
'Cause-
they're illegal?
Yeah, because everyone just like got really quiet. Like we wouldn't put it past Hagrid.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, we know he's capable of illegal things, but
Where are they from?
Hagrid himself didn't seem like.
But like
ashamed
I
or
don't
that
even
weird
understand
about
what
it.
they
Oh,
are
he did a
to
little
like
bit.
figure out what part of the world they're from. Like are they from a tropical area? Are they from a
Yeah, I have no idea.
Arctic area?
I
Like
picture them
don't-
like slugs or something you'd find in some cave.
But they're 6 feet long.
There's
Well,
a better
yeah, like some.
there's a better depiction
Oh,
of them.
interesting.
If with Jim K. There's a slightly
Oh, I
better one.
can't
It kind of looks like a scorpion without a head.
Oh my.
There's like a more mature version that I'll send you guys a picture later. They're weird looking creatures.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Why would he do that?
But it was cute how they were trying to protect Hagrid and like
Yeah.
Hermione was like, "Oh, Harry, hi, you're here," or something
This
like
is
that.
the best class.
With Rita,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Rita was just interviewing him, asking about Harry anyway, right?
Yeah. Hagrid's a weird dude. How he gets these creatures. He gets a dragon. He's getting these blast and scroots somehow. But now they are in their divination class, and I want to read you this line.
Oh yeah.
I arose, settled myself before, and I gazed into the crystalline depths. And what do you think I saw gazing back at me? An old, ugly bat and outsized specs, Ron muttered under his breath. Harry fought hard to keep his face straight. Death, my dears. Bavardi and Lavender both put their hands over their mouths, looking horrified. Yes, said Professor Trelawney, nodding impressively. It comes ever closer. It circles overhead like a vulture, ever lower over the castle. What do you think about this prediction?
She's always saying
I was gonna say
that.
it's pretty typical.
Yeah. I'm numb to her predictions now.
So you're numb to her predictions. If you think, let's say her prediction might be right. Most of her predictions are not right. If you were to say her prediction is right, who at this point in the story do you think would die?
One of the champions, not Harry. Because of another thing that was said in the last book, 2 books ago. When 13 people are at a table, the first person to get up, destined to die. And when they had the Yule Ball, it was the 5 judges the 4 champions and their 4 dates, which is 13 people at a table.
So was there a note in there about someone rising?
There was a note about the champions rising before Harry did. So we know that one of the other champions got up before Harry did because he was distracted. So my theory is Harry lives through this, one of the other champions dies. Because it specifically said the other champions were getting up. It didn't say their dates were standing. So I'm assuming not a rando date is going to die. But we'll see.
Let's logically process this. Who would be the first one to stand up? Would it be Fleur?
Probably.
No, usually she's so polite. Isn't like the proper way for the man to rise first?
You think she would wait for a man to rise first?
I think so because of just the French manners, probably.
She ain't waiting on no man.
No way.
But I also maybe just don't picture her being psyched on dancing. Like I almost think of her as
She's
being
a
a little...
Vila.
Yeah, but like
part.
thinking she's better than it. Like she's kind of like the whole time she's like, Hogwarts is gross. Like it feels like she's not into the evening, you know? So I just don't picture her being the one that's like, let's get dancing.
Who would it be?
I think it would have to be either Cedric or Crumb, and I could see either one of them because they would be a gentleman. They would rise first, help their date up, and then walk out to the dance floor. And that's hard to say, but I could picture either one of them.
National news if Victor Crumb dies in the Triwizard Tournament but not the Quidditch World Cup. Would be wild.
But Cedric is someone's famous son. What the heck is his name? What's his name? Isn't he in the Ministry of Magic?
Amos Diggory.
Yeah, there we go.
But you think Fleur would have
I
gotten
would
up first? She just wants to dance.
I don't know. I think I'm just trolling.
I cannot believe that you found 13 people at a table. So 5 judges.
Do you
4.
understand his note taking in his books?
I've been waiting for 13 people at a table
Every
for so many chapters.
Oh
We came close with the Weasley's little brunch thing earlier.
Your brain catalogs so much at once. I can only
So many
I'm like
stupid
one
And
lane.
it's like me too.
That's it.
And it's numbers. Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
going in and out of my brain.
I mean, it was subtle, and that's why it's a stretch.
But we
And
also don't believe in her. Any of
exactly,
her.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. We don't believe
Yep.
in her because she's been wrong about so much. Harry was supposed to die like a bunch of times, and like the whole red hair thing.
Ron.
Timeout. Say that again.
The whole red hair thing.
What
because
was her red hair thing?
that was,
Do you remember it?
She said to
Yeah.
Pavarti, beware a red man.
Pavarti, but that she gave a specific date though.
Wasn't that Ron?
Did
No,
she give
she
a
said-
specific date?
Oh, I thought she said the end of the year or soon.
I don't
Or
think it was
maybe
about that specific
No, she
one.
gave
Pavarti is
another- somebody
Harry's
else was gonna
date.
get attacked.
No.
Pavarti was Harry's date.
Yeah, and then her sister was Ron's date.
Yeah.
Her sister is what?
I don't know.
Her twin sister. This is the
Oh.
other thing that I want to
I
talk
thought it was her
about.
younger sister.
This is a prediction that I think Trelawney stretched but got
Wow.
right.
Like she saw her.
She
thought
saw-
Padma was Pavarti.
And saw a
Wait,
red-haired
and
said-
man,
Wow.
aka
And said
Ron,
what? What was
treating
her
her
thing?
poorly. She just said, beware a red-haired man. Pavarti then...
But
in
she's
the-
so far
in the
advanced then.
Exactly.
So she's really off by
She's
her years.
great. No. Yeah, I don't think she said within the year, though. She said,
You're
beware
right,
a
maybe
red-haired
she
man.
didn't. But there was another. Maybe
Yeah,
it was
but
to
it's so
Lavender, the
far
whole
out, you wouldn't
October
remember
14th.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Maybe she is
And it's
right.
her twin. Where did this twin thing come up? I totally missed that.
She might have said.
They said it a while ago.
sister?
Hermione said, who was asking if they were asking about the Creevy brothers. Are all siblings put in the same houses? And she said, oh no, look at Pavarti's twin sister.
Yes,
You're
you're
right.
right.
Padma is in Ravenclaw.
Right.
So they're in different houses, but
Which
they're
is
twin
bizarre.
sisters.
This is like
Yeah.
one of the only times.
But
we're
they're
seeing
actually really pretty.
the pretty
Yeah.
girls
Apparently.
in class.
Yeah.
In our grade, I think somebody said. Maybe Dean. So, I
So,
think
yeah.
Harry is not going to die, but there could be worse fates for Harry.
But I think it was so funny though, because this has been the overarching theme. You were just always like, I'm waiting for this red-haired man.
All this time, it's going to be Ron and her sister.
So
Well,
that-
we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
You know.
One of the few prophecies I think she gets right, but she doesn't quite get it right because she just sees someone who looks exactly like her in the future.
Yes.
And she sees this moment of
But
Ron
she probably
mistreating her.
didn't have her twin sister in her class.
Yeah, for sure. So she didn't quite know that.
So she didn't know she was a twin.
Yeah.
Could be.
Interesting, right? Anyway.
Fascinating. But I'm starting to think Trelawney knows a little more than we give her credit for. She's written off as a bit of a kook. But I feel like there's got to be an element of truth to whatever she's saying.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Because you even think there's possible truth to Harry and Ron making up their stuff. You're
yes,
like looking for all
I'm
that
like,
kinda...
I'm reading through it and then I'm like, it goes a little too far. I don't think this could be.
Is Harry going to drown in the tub?
Drown in the tub with his egg.
Does he know how to take a
It's
bath?
Harry. He could.
Yeah. Something is going to come popping out of the egg. Well, that would be bad if Cedric tells him to get in the tub all by himself and then the egg thing like drowns him in there.
Imagine
that
he's
would be
sabotaging
sabotage.
him. Oh my gosh. I feel like that's not Cedric's
Checkmate.
character.
Yeah. It would be
Oh
funny
my.
though.
Just keep going.
But this is when we hit the actual house elf liberation front. She goes to they all go to the kitchens, and there's this really beautiful moment that happens. He had one brief glimpse of an enormous high-ceilinged room, large as the great hall above it, with mounds of glittering brass pots and pans heaped around stone walls, and a great brick fireplace at the other end. When something small hurtled toward him from the middle of the room, squealing, "Harry Potter, sir! Harry Potter!" Next second, all of the wind had been knocked out of him as the squealing elf hit him hard in the midriff, hugging him so tightly he thought his ribs would break. "Dobby!" Harry gasped. "It is Dobby, sir, it is!" squeaked a voice from somewhere around his navel. "Dobby has been hoping to see Harry Potter, sir, and Harry Potter has come to see him, sir." So beautiful. I love that so much. Dobby is... What do you guys think of Dobby?
I like him now. He's still a little bit of a wild card, but I like him.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't know his boundaries. Like, when he was visiting Harry for Christmas,
Oh yeah,
he like woke Harry up and he's like, "Harry Potter!" And he's
like,
like
what
over.
if Harry was a little quicker with his wand? You know, he just oh, Dobby.
But Dobby doesn't know good magic, so
It does feel like Dobby's actually growing as a person and like as a character. That's why I like it, because he's maturing. He's getting used to freedom. He's kind of like he's figuring out how to be free, and it's cool. So that's why I think part of why I'm liking him more. He's not so stuck in his ways. He's more multi-dimensional now.
Jen, do
I
you
don't
like
trust
Dobby?
Winky though.
Ooh, you don't trust Winky?
No, not fully. She's too loyal
She's
to Crouch.
still like recovering.
She's still recovering. I'll give her some time. But while she's recovering, she's going to be on the
I
suspect
feel so
list.
bad
Highly
for her
suspicious.
Yeah.
because she's just like crying because she misses her life.
Yeah, that was like rough. I feel like in the books it's one thing because you're not actually hearing crying, but I was picturing this scene like in the movie and how like annoying it would be to be like,
The audiobook was sad.
well, because he's doing the voice and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty intense. Feels weird.
Yeah, you definitely have sympathy for Winky in this moment. And does this bump Crouch up on your suspect list a little bit because of this? Because he dismissed her.
I don't know. I don't understand it. He's like, if you're blaming Winky, you're blaming me.
He had to cover himself, it felt like.
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
And
But
be
then
like,
he
all
gets
right, bye.
away from everyone, and then he's like, yeah, it was Winky. Or like he at least is blaming Winky for something and then lets her go. It just feels weird. And then I feel like that's a threat you make to a house elf. But then to actually follow through on it, he's the one without a house elf now. So is it that he just doesn't trust her anymore? But she broke his trust?
Well, I thought she did because she left the area.
Is that the only thing?
She
we just
keeps
don't know
his
enough about
secrets
why.
still. She won't tell Harry why Bagman is bad.
Yeah. Tony also says on the chat, Dobby's like an annoying nephew that you hate to visit, yet somehow warms your heart when you're forced to go there. Which is a great
It's so
description.
true.
It's such a good description,
So
Tony.
true. An annoying nephew. There's love there, but
Yeah.
there's still annoyance, and you just want
Yeah.
them to grow up.
But for Winky, you definitely have there's maybe some slight annoyance, but I think it's more sympathy and pity for this one than Dobby. Dobby is embracing his freedom. He loves it. He's like, I didn't want to work for 10 galleons a week like Dumbledore offered me. I wanted to work for
I
one.
know.
It's like such a cute little moment. And Winky is just having a rough go at it. She does not accept this at all. She doesn't want her freedom. She wants to work for her old master. Is talking about how her master is going to be doesn't know what the heck he's doing without her.
Right.
It's a really sad moment.
And like that, her mom and her grandma had worked for him as well. So she feels like she's like letting her family down in some weird way. Like this is a multi-generational thing that she broke this chain. So we don't know enough about how house elves really,
how do
but
they have kids?
it must be kind of heavy.
House elves?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
When
Probably
a
don't wanna
male,
go too far.
a man house elf loves a female house
They
elf.
have that?
That could be the intro of the podcast. How do house elves reproduce?
Birds and the bees conversation.
How do blast and Scroots do it?
Ew.
Oh gosh. Very painfully.
Then there's Dobby says a really interesting line here too that I want to talk about. He goes, Dobby likes Professor Dumbledore very much, sir, and is proud to keep his secrets for him. What is Dobby talking about here? Is that just like a house elf thing that they like feel like they keep their
Wait, one
their
more time.
master
Can you
secrets?
say it one more time?
Dobby goes, Dobby likes Professor Dumbledore very much, sir, and is proud to keep his secrets for him. Is Dumbledore confiding in Dobby his secrets, or is this just like a phrase that Dobby is using? Do you think Dumbledore has secrets?
Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah.
He's got secrets for days.
He seems like a pretty secretive person.
I feel like Dobby can just find them out though.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be sneaky.
I feel like that's part of their like role though, as a house elf.
What, to know things?
Just to like find out things and know things and overhear things, but keep it a secret.
That's a great point. So like Dobby is going up to clean the Dumbledore's office and he just comes
Right.
across a secret that he knows.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's probably
Because
it.
you're like in their life, but like not seen, so you can hear and see things that maybe you weren't supposed to, or you don't know exactly what it is, but
Right.
you don't repeat it.
There's a lot of nobility in the house elf for that specific reason, that they're around these
Right.
people all the time and they're not gossips. They keep their master's secrets. Like it's annoying because this translates into Winky, because you're like, Winky, just tell us
I know.
about Crouch, and she won't.
Yep.
She's not going to spill a single word, and nothing
Oh, no.
negative either.
Which is cute.
Yeah. Shows
Even
a
if
lot of
he's a
loyalty.
bad guy.
Yeah, it's weird because that like becomes their morality. Like secret keeping is more important than saving someone's life, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
It's just keep that secret. That's your only job.
But that's like their family.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sticking up for your family or keeping a secret for your family.
And why do you think Winky dislikes Bagman so much?
I still feel like it has something to do with the dark mark time out there in the woods. But there might be other things.
Well, she's implying that he is dark wizard. He's not a good guy, right? Is that what she says? I forgot
She
the
said he's a
phrase.
bad wizard.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, that seems like dark, but she's not actually saying that. And then Crouch doesn't like him, but is that because
Bad
because
wizard.
Bagman is trying to expose Crouch?
Yeah, I was going to
Or
say,
is
there's
it
like a weird
because-
rivalry between Bagman and Crouch. And I'm almost thinking Winky doesn't like him just because of this rivalry. Like, if she said something bad about Crouch, I'd believe it. But if she's saying it about Bagman, I'm like, it's almost your job not to like them.
Well, what's her
if he's like
definition
an
of
enemy.
bad?
Yeah, like this could be just bad. Like he's not a good wizard. Like he stinks at it. He's just a very
Yeah, he's just an
personable one.
athlete or something.
Yeah.
But like I also
know.
feel like she's kind of reiterating what Crouch is saying. Like what is he saying about Bagman?
Oh,
So, like,
right.
What is he saying that's bad? And in her
Yeah.
mind, it's just whatever he's saying. Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, she adopts.
Right.
So
yeah.
what is his view
Yeah.
on him? That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
Because it was very specific that she said he's a bad wizard. And then didn't Dobby say about the Malfoys that they were dark
Bad,
wizards?
dark wizards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a little different.
So I don't know. That could just be nothing. But I was
That's a
like,
great catch.
It was. I went back and forth with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, reread the chapter.
That's a really good catch. Any other like little points in this chapter? Any other ideas?
Other little notes, just like I love that Ron seems to have taken a great liking to Dobby. I think that's like kind of cute that Ron is down with Dobby.
Yeah, the little Ron and Dobby relationship is kind of cute. Like he goes off, he's like, "Our selves are great. I love them." Anyway, on to the chapter 22, the unexpected task. What is this chapter?
McGonagall tells Harry he needs a dance partner. He ends up asking Cho, but she's already agreed to go with Cedric. In the end, Harry asks how do you say her name?
Parvati.
Parvati,
I think.
And and gets her to ask her sister Padma to go with Ron. So it's basically about them asking.
I'm asking their dates.
Yeah, to the dance.
There's great lines in this too. In the beginning, "It's traditional," said Professor McGonagall firmly. "You are a Hogwarts champion, and you will do what is expected of you as a representative of the school. So make sure you get yourself a partner, Potter." What do you think of McGonagall? How do you like her?
She's very old school.
I feel like she was really frustrated with Harry.
Really?
In the
Yeah, that's true. They were goofing off in class.
Yeah. I mean, they were goofing off. But even when she was saying that to him, I felt like she was like, very, I don't know, short with him and like very demanding.
But maybe she had to plan a lot of this event for the what the heck is it called?
Triwizard Tournament?
The dance.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe she's part of the brainstorming and you literally have no brain power to like take on any other
she's like
thing.
just trying to barely get through class.
You're just like, come on, you're doing this. Like, stop.
And I feel like she is actually a strict but good teacher. And I feel like she really cares too. Like she wants these kids to learn and she wants Harry to like step up and be who he's meant to be. And Harry's not really there yet. He's still like goofing off. And I think she is starting to understand, or maybe very much understands, how much is at stake in the future. Maybe her and Dumbledore are talking about the same rumors that Sirius is talking about. And then she sees Harry goofing off and she's like kind of getting a little bit of that stress of, don't you understand? This is a little more serious. Yeah. And now, let alone all the crazy drama, you're representing the school. Like just shape up, will you? A little bit.
She expects more. Or wants more.
Yeah.
I guess.
But I like her. She's great.
She seems to push Harry in certain ways, and she seems to have sympathy for him in certain ways.
Yeah.
Like when she was delivering him to the tent or something like that, she looked like nervous and scared for him. But I think we talked about there, she might be nervous and scared for something else, which is her betting. So maybe this is part of that. Maybe she's like snippy because she like put bets on Harry to
too much money.
Yeah.
I feel like she's very motherly
Yeah.
toward them.
Yeah. She's like the teacher mom that Harry needs.
Yeah.
Do you remember ever getting rejected for asking someone out? Not just to a ball, but in life.
Yes. I've asked a guy out.
Really?
Bold.
Give us the deets.
It's not that great. He just oh no, well I can give you the full detail or I can give you the short version, which probably will be the short version. It was not in person, so it doesn't, I feel like it's less like rejection in a way. It was through texting, which is lame.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it was asking, would you like to get coffee? Sure. Okay. How about Friday? And then it was like, yeah, it sounds good. And then you don't hear from them at all. And then they're posting on Instagram all the things that they're lazy day and they have no plans or anything all day long posting stories. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah.
That's rough.
So I think it was as bad as a rejection in person. Maybe. Probably not, but that's the most.
I had one where it wasn't a rejection, but at the moment I thought it was a rejection. So I need your guys. I went up to someone when I was in grad school, and I was like, we were really talking in like this little garden part of the library, and just like randomly met, and she left and I like ran after her and I was like, hey, would you like want to go get coffee sometime? Or like, go grab dinner. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. And in my mind, like, okay, she definitely doesn't. So I'm not going to like put her through that misery. She like clearly showed me in her face that she doesn't. And then she did this. I go, okay, like great. Like let's exchange numbers. And she goes, oh, can I give you my email? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I didn't email her because I'm like, if she's giving me her email, she doesn't want to go on a date, obviously.
She's betting you.
I figured out later she actually did
want to
go on a date.
Why'd she give you an email?
I didn't know that till years.
Did she not have a
years
phone?
later? One of my friends was like, they were talking to them and they were like, yeah, she really like was looking forward to like going on a date with you. She had a phone and everything like that. I just don't know what was going on. So I interpreted the signs maybe completely wrong. And I got, I guess not rejected, but a little weirdly rejected, right? I told my friend that talked to her. And she was like, yeah, if like I did that to some guy, I like definitely I'm not interested if I'm like giving him an email over like a phone number. So
I mean, I feel like I wish that was more socially acceptable because in a text, somebody saw it, especially if you see them posting on Instagram or something. You're like, yeah, they're on their phones. But at least email, you can expect it could be 3 days.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be a week and you'd be like, oh, it just took them a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like that there'd be less pressure. But oh man, that's so lame.
I know.
That's unfortunate for you.
I know. Years later, I found it out.
You should have just done it though. Why didn't you just email? One more rejection.
She was doing it out of sympathy, and I didn't want her to go on a date out of sympathy. That's like the last thing I want.
We would have interpreted it the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
some people are super. I know some.
From your end.
Yeah.
I would have interpreted it the same way.
Like I would have interpreted like how you interpreted it. I'm putting myself in your shoes.
Yeah.
I would have interpreted it the same way.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
like, someone was like, "Here's my email." See ya. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah.
Were you still like friends after that and stuff?
Yeah, like we still interacted all the time.
So that's why you didn't want to like risk the friendship too. You're like, oh, this is her subtle way of saying no, and this will be my subtle way of saying all good. I'll bow out.
And there were funny moments where like some of our friends cross over, so we would hang out every once in a while, and there were like funny moments looking back that like she one time like kind of stopped me and she was like, hey, I don't like blame you or anything like that for doing anything or like not emailing me back or something like that. And in my head I'm like, what?
In my head it's a blank question mark.
At the moment I was like, okay, she's just like talking that she's like,
wow,
sorry we didn't go on a date, or I wasn't courteous enough to at least email her. But for a long time she was like, why didn't he email me? Why didn't he talk to me? And
why didn't she say something?
I don't know.
Well, because from her side, it was the same thing. She's probably thinking, I gave the email, and if he's not going to reach out, maybe he changed his mind.
If you guys are friends, talk.
Yeah. Well,
communication is hard. Okay.
But she should have given her number.
I know it's hard.
Use your words.
She should have given the number though. But I do know some people that don't want to give the number right away. Like if online dating, it's like I want to talk a while on the chat before I give you my number.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah, we don't have to dissect this anymore, guys.
We want to.
Let's turn this into a therapy podcast. I need to lay on that couch and we'll be good. How about you guys? Any dating rejection stories?
I've been dumped a lot.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I can think of
I'm just like, I don't know if I've asked out a guy and been rejected. Every single time I've been dumped. So that's fun. It's always a good feeling.
It's all right. Same. Yeah. Except the one time I tried. He was like, no.
That's right. One time. The first time I did the dumping.
I wish I could remember in high school because I got rejected. And it might have even been around that time with the carnations and like one of the dances or the winter banquet or something. But I can't remember the specifics.
Yeah. It's so hard to do that in high school.
I must have blocked it out. It's the only way I can emotionally recover.
Well, all the girls travel in packs, so good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it is tough. They always travel in packs.
And how do you get one on their own to ask them?
Does it ever grow out of them? I don't know. I'm not sure it grows out.
You travel in packs?
Indeed. Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
I asked a girl in a coffee shop once, and we actually went out. I found out she was interested in tennis. I was like, let's go play tennis. And so we went and played tennis. And then I was like smitten. I was like she's so cool. I was like, I want to go on a date with her. And then I texted her and I was like, hey, like, would you be interested to go on a date? And she was just like, no, not really. And I was like, no. I was like, okay. She stood up for herself and she didn't want to go on a date, so it's better now, but that was crushing. Anyway, moving on. I don't want to bring up these memories again. I'm gonna read you guys. Yeah, I know. There's one of my favorite lines in this book happens in this moment. I'm gonna read you this whole thing. It's a long thing, but hold on. The twins come up. Ron, can we borrow Pigwidgeon? George asked. No, he's off delivering a letter, said Ron. Why? Because George wants him to invite him to the ball, said Fred sarcastically. Because we want to send a letter, you stupid great Pratt, said George. Who'd you two keep writing to anyway, said Ron. Nose out, Ron, or I'll burn you for that too, said Fred, waving his wand threateningly. So, you lot got dates for the ball yet? Nope, said Ron. Well, you better hurry up, mate, or all the good ones will have gone, said Fred. Who are you going with then, said Ron. Angelina, said Fred promptly, without a trace of embarrassment. What? Said Ron, taken aback. You've already asked her? Good point, said Fred. He turned his head and called across the room. Oi, Angelina! What? She called back. Want to come to the ball with me? Angelina gave Fred an appraising sort of look. All right then, she said, and she turned back to Alicia and carried on chatting with a bit of a grin on her face. There you go, said Fred to Harry and Ron. Piece of cake. I love that moment.
That was one of my favorite moments.
And I love the moment
like
where they go dancing and those two are dancing crazier than everyone else. I'm like, these two,
like they actually are a good couple. It's so awesome.
Doesn't care at all.
I know why. I know they
So
they would be such a good couple. They need to like get married after this. But to the first point,
I knew you were going to ask
George
this.
Are writing
I knew it.
to.
What I've been thinking about.
Yeah. You know, I was going to ask because you were like, who the heck are they writing to? John's going to ask that question.
Yep, I did. A part of me was wondering if it's like, remember later on Bagman is saying like, oh, I want to set up the Weasley twins with like a friend of his. So I wondered if it was that he actually gave them a contact and then is saying it to Percy like, maybe I will give it, but because Percy, he might know Percy's character and just kind of like, oh yeah, I would love to set them up with so-and-so. Meanwhile, he already did. Maybe.
I like that. That's a good theory.
That means it's wrong. Yes. Danny, what do you think?
So, wait, you just think he's writing to Bagman?
No.
They're writing to Bagman. Who are they writing? They're writing to Percy?
No. They're writing to whoever Bagman.
Oh, but so they're writing
Like-
to contact Bagman gave
Yeah.
them.
Zonko's joke shop.
I don't know, someone there.
Interesting.
Oh, I like that tone better.
that's closer.
Much more satisfying.
I got to raise my eyebrows.
Oh, God.
Well,
Now you're just going to play the part.
I don't know. I tend to lean that direction too. Something with the jokes, inventions, getting them to mass produce something.
who's your guys' favorite character outside of the trio so far?
I mean, in these chapters, Fred really stepped up big time. And I love that it was like Fred and George could have gone with the twins.
Yeah.
Like that would have made the most sense. But I love that Fred is now becoming his own character
Yeah.
for the first time in all of the books.
Yeah.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single
know.
time in these books that we don't see them not together. At least so far.
Yep. I really do love Hagrid, though.
Because
Because he's just great. He's just jolly. And I feel like he's just very consistent. Like he's always just Hagrid. You know what you're going to get. Some good, a tiny bit of bad because he's bad with secrets and maybe a little irresponsible.
Yeah.
But he's just so lovable, you know?
which is crazy because of
Yep.
the last chapter we read.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's a good... Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. Who's your favorite, Jen?
Fleur.
No, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you?
That's right. Only in the Is illustrated copy. That's a good question. I didn't think of that, so I don't really have an answer.
We'll come back to it. Kristen, do you have a favorite outside of the trio?
I feel like Cho was kind of sweet of how she, like, in this chapter at least, she was very, like, respectful. And she was apologizing to Harry for being, like, that she was asked out by someone else. I don't know. She handled that situation, I think, pretty good for...
There was one moment I really love for her, too, when Harry goes up and he asks her, can I speak to you privately, please?
Yeah.
And all the other girls were laughing, and she didn't laugh at all.
Yep.
I'm like,
That's what I mean.
such good character of
she
Cho
was
right
like,
there.
no.
Yeah.
Or I forgot what she said,
Which her and Cedric are actually kind of good together because Cedric has the same thing too.
but you don't have the same personalities match up. That doesn't work.
For sure. But they're kind of
To find a balance.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
They're kind of opposites a little.
Yeah, they're opposites in little ways. They're both seekers.
No, I want Harry to be with Cho.
Yeah, they're both seekers too.
Whatever.
That's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
She's older than him.
Well,
Some guys like older
Yeah,
women.
she's a cougar.
I don't know if I like Harry with Cho, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, it just feels a little bit weird. Only because we don't know Cho. We saw
So
more of
then
her.
why
in
are
this
you making
little bit.
assumptions?
It just feels like
I just like
she feels a
it.
little bland. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bland.
Because
But-
you don't know her.
Right, and I'd love to get to know
But then
her.
you hate Fleur too, so let's
But
just
'cause we got to know her
close
and
that
she's
book over
not
there.
nice.
I was gonna say we're kind of proved in chapter 23.
She's
that
just a
Fleur
complainer.
is not very nice.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, you'll come around eventually.
You don't
Jen.
have to keep defending her.
no.
You're like locked into defending her.
It's also a little risque, but
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone could take Moaning Myrtle to the dance. That'd be actually really sweet.
It's gonna be one of my questions. I don't think a ghost and a human would ever fall in
did you
love.
just pass that in your notes somewhere?
Yeah. 'Cause
I would
don't know,
take
and I'm like,
morning.
why is no one taking Moaning Myrtle?
Can't
I
even
mean,
say
like,
her
we don't want
name.
her moaning during the dance, but she could, like, hold it together for a little bit, right?
Not cry.
I don't know, but I feel like that would be nice. And we were talking about ghosts before, and I'm like, maybe ghosts can't leave buildings. Like, are they outside, or would the wind blow them away? It'd be too risky. I don't know, but I assume Moaning Myrtle could at least come to the Great Hall
What
for a
is
dance.
going through your brain?
So many things.
I love
That's why
it.
Danny takes 3 hours to read each chapter. He's like literally studying the sentence structure.
So long.
It's great. We love it.
Also,
Yes.
Harry got bottom marks on the potions thing, and I needed a bit of a refresher. He's excused from some things because of the Triwizard Tournament, but it's only the year-end tests. Everything else, he still has to do normal schoolwork. So, like, can you fail out? Or not out, but like be held back or repeat classes? Or are the grades, do they feed into like the OWLs or something? I'm a little confused about some of those details. I mean, you don't want to get bad grades, obviously, but if I was in Harry's shoes, I wouldn't really care that much.
I think there's a part to it with even the champions that they're picking the best students, the most worthy students. So even though they're exempt from exams, those students still, and Harry might be exempt from this because he's not the greatest student right now. The real champions are exempt because, like, I can't imagine Cedric or Crumb or Fleur neglecting their studies because they truly value it and they want to become great wizards.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're still devoting themselves to that and learning certain things. But then again, they're high school students, and it's like, oh, I got to do homework now. Harry just seems a little bit less mature and all that kind of stuff. Maybe he can like fail out of Hogwarts.
Can you? I feel like no. Who's failed out?
Yeah.
Maybe
Hagrid?
Hagrid kind of.
Yeah,
But did he fail? I feel like he was accused.
Right.
fail out. Yeah, it was something a little different. If anyone would fail out of Hogwarts, who would it be? And why would it be Ron? That's why we love Ron, though. I love Ron. Ron is my favorite character. I think he's like the greatest.
Okay.
We know Crumb is very smart since he spends his hours and days in the library.
Yeah, well,
But do you
now
know
we
why?
where he is.
No, I have no idea why.
Nothing to do with his intellect.
Don't you love how she snuck that kind of stuff in there?
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah.
So
Crumb is.
great.
You guys are like, oh, Crumb's studious. He's like
He's in the
great.
library.
No, I didn't
all
think
the
he was
time.
studious.
Yeah, you never said that. Danny was like,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Crumb because he's studious. He's
And
getting
I'm
his
still
knowledge
not
on the
sold
library.
on that whole situation. I'm like, all this time? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hermione is not with a pack of girls, so you had zero guts, Crumb.
Whoa.
Ooh, wow.
She was sitting by herself always in the library. Why didn't he ask her?
In some ways, that could be more intimidating.
Oh, here we go. It's either you're alone and it's more intimidating, or you're in a pack of girls and it's intimidating.
There's got to be a balance.
So then, how do you ask anyone out?
when someone's in motion between two places,
Okay.
walk together.
He has a perfect moment.
There is a perfect moment.
Is
And
there a
is
perfect moment?
right? I just don't know what that moment is.
I
I feel
also
like
do,
you don't know.
It's true. So then I'm
trying
like,
to make it up right now.
yeah, but I feel like that's got to be true too, right? Like someone's sitting there studying or doing something, or like watching a movie, or like definitely focused on a book. That's like saying, "Don't bother me," or someone's got like it. That's like the equivalent of a Hogwarts equivalent of
you
like
literally talked about that before.
ears in, or for the
You have
headphones.
like a bookmark or like a like
Don't
something
talk
that don't talk to me, or a coffee mug or
A
something.
mug says,
Yeah.
shh, I'm
Yeah.
reading.
So I'm just picturing Hermione looking really like serious in the library, like focused on her stuff. And I'm like, that would be pretty intense.
Yeah.
No, he would have everything timed perfectly. He knows when she's going to the library, and you get there before her. You sit down, you wait, and she walks in to sit down. You're like, hey, I see you come here all the time too. What are you studying? I'd be a great guy.
Yeah. Excellent. Easy peasy.
Just like that guy.
Just like that. And then she says,
I'll teach
"Yo,
you.
That's how it's done.
That was an old
Easy
timeline
peasy.
right there.
I'd be a great guy."
I do still love the idea that these guys have taken on dragons. He's played in the Quidditch World Cup, and he's still terrified to ask a girl out. There's something so
course.
relatable in that. I
Yep.
love that so
Yeah,
much.
but that doesn't, I feel like that doesn't carry over at all.
With
You don't think
Crumb?
so?
Yeah, like I feel like just because, like you were saying, just because you're like a great athlete
Oh,
or
like that.
like you're super focused.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, what? I feel like I missed
No,
something.
because I'm saying. So you're saying like he's an athlete, he's super focused, but he still doesn't have the courage to ask this girl out.
Yeah, and you're saying
you're saying
that.
I'm saying the exact same thing.
You're saying that tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying I love the fact that he's a super athlete.
I just wanted
and
to
is
battle you.
literally in the Quidditch World Cup, and he's like in front of millions of people. Well, the Wizarding World, like maybe about 1 million. And then
Nice.
he is in the library, and he's like been in the library for a month because he
Yeah.
lacks the courage to go ask this pretty girl that he likes to the Yule Ball.
The
I
one
love that
thing
so
though,
much.
I'm so curious though, did he see her before her teeth got fixed or after?
If you saw her before, it's true love.
I think it was before.
I don't know.
I feel like it was before too.
Yeah, because I think we heard that he was in the library before that class.
Malfoy's
I
class?
think so.
Yeah, I thought so.
It made me sad that she fixed her teeth.
Really?
Yeah, that me too. That kind of felt like
I felt good for her. I
Yeah.
was like, go Hermione. Finally, you're getting away from your
Her parents would have done it with braces.
So this whole time
true.
she had
She like
buck
shrunk
teeth and
the size
braces.
of her teeth, right?
But
Wait,
this
she had
whole
braces
time,
this whole time?
that's
No,
what it sounded like.
Her
didn't
parents
have
wanted her
braces.
to get braces.
It sounded
But she
like
didn't
her
get 'em.
parents.
She didn't have them.
Really?
I think that says my parents want me to fix this with braces.
Yeah.
I thought it was like that she has them on and they still are fixing them
working.
with braces. Like it's a
Oh.
process because it takes
Yeah, yeah,
years
yeah,
to
yeah.
straighten your teeth with braces.
I'm like, wizards have instant braces. That's like the greatest thing ever.
And that's
You
what
just shrink
she's
some teeth, move
telling them.
around. Yeah, agreed. Jenna, we're on the same page here.
yeah, they're on their own page.
I just
Well,
I just felt bad for her that she felt she needed to change herself in order to be
That's
prettier.
how I felt.
I was like, you're fine the way you are.
Yes.
Like
Here's-
you will find
I'm
someone who
okay with
loves you just
fixing
the way you
something.
are.
So here's a moment that I had when I was younger. I mean, my ears do still stick out, but like it was super self-conscious for me. And I had a moment, I remember this, I was sitting with my brother and I like cried and everything, but I was like, I don't want to change how I am because this is how God made me.
Oh,
Cute.
But it was like I don't know. It was a moment of like building the confidence in who I am and how I look. And so that's
Yeah.
what I was like, oh, Hermione.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and like,
Ears are different from teeth to me.
You can fix teeth.
Yeah, you can fix teeth.
I
You can't
know.
Fix ears. Ears are just like
You can
your
get them
teeth
taped
can
back.
move around. Yeah, that's
Taped
true.
Your ears taped
back. Oh man.
Come at
true.
me, bro.
Yeah, I guess that maybe that's the thing. Yeah, you're
it
right.
it broke my heart because I was like, she definitely did that because of what people have said.
Yeah, she felt bullied and
Yes.
felt like she needed
Well,
to change
Snape
herself to be more
made
likable.
that
Snape is
very.
Excellent.
All right, I will bleep it out.
Snape is not nice.
Yep.
He is not.
I don't see a difference.
Yep.
You have like beaver teeth, and I don't see
Yeah.
anything wrong with you.
I think I'm justifying her. I think she was maybe self-conscious before she even was made fun of.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this might have been
Yep.
just something that she wanted to change about herself. And like, because she wanted to get braces and her parents are like, you're not at the right age to get braces yet. Maybe she just was about to get braces.
You get braces on age.
Yeah, that's true.
Adult
So she
teeth
should have got them. I
come
know. That's the
Yeah.
worst.
That's
as an
why I'm
adult. I'm a
thinking
senior
she-
in college. Oh my gosh, it was the worst.
What?
I had braces as a senior.
Oh
in
my
college.
gosh, really?
Second time I had braces. It was,
What, did you not wear your retainer?
No, I did. Don't come at me.
This is not my fault.
I did. They just shifted up again, and they're
Wisdom
still not
teeth.
great. But I had to take them off because it was like 6 months, and I was moving. So I was like, "I'm sorry, you just got to knock them out,
Invisalign?
take them off." I know. I could probably do that.
No, your teeth are fine. I'm just saying.
I just need a
That's
spell.
great. Here we go.
I
Just
need
made
a
you-
shrinking spell to this tooth and that tooth and that tooth, and we're good.
Oh man, I think it's interesting though because a part of me thinks that like the parents are dentists, so they wanted to like, oh, let me show you how great like we take this and make it perfect in our own daughter with our own skills. So I feel like they could be kind of
Agreed.
using her.
Yeah,
for that.
and I kind of thought so too because I'm like, it's funny how you think. I'm sure as a Muggle, you think magic. It's almost like AI. Like AI is going to take over so many jobs, and people are like trying to make their jobs indispensable. It's like them. It's like if people start getting their teeth fixed by magic, we're out of a job. Let's show how indispensable our job is.
Yeah.
Hermione's going to come back, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we would have done this better with braces. It would have looked better with braces." you know?
right.
Yeah, it's funny. I love that we got
We're
along.
split on this one.
I love that we're split on her shrinking her teeth. This is such a fun point, guys. We're literally talking about Hermione shrinking her teeth and getting like a 10-minute discussion on this. My heart is so full right now.
But she feels prettier about herself fixing a little thing. So why
That's
not?
just short term.
Oh my god.
Because she's bound to age and start thinking something else is
But
great. And where do you
Victor-
stop?
Victor
You
Crumb
can
saw her
stop.
with her buck teeth.
And liked her just the way she was.
Is this true love? Will she marry Victor Crumb? Will Harry marry Cho? Will Cedric marry Cho?
I don't know.
I don't know about Crumb. I still don't fully trust him. There's this
still
part of me that
think-
thinks he's manipulated.
Yeah, because
like
I
Ron
feel-
said. What do
Yeah.
you think?
You beat me to it.
Well, because Ron said it, but I was just like, oh, he's got a point. I don't know.
Because Rowling is good at flipping things. At this moment, only Jenn likes Fleur. And I think Rowling makes a point to make her a little bit dislikable at this point. So maybe she's good at that. She makes dislikable characters and people that you really, really trust. People that you
I'm
end
very
up
in
learning
tune
like, oh no, I can't believe this. Yeah, you're very in tune with that. So maybe Crumb is really manipulative in this moment. You know, maybe Fleur
You have
is
to
really
play
sweet and
really
kind.
nice, and you don't give anything away
Yeah.
until you get deep, dark secrets with
Yeah.
them. And then you flip. How do you not know this, Danny?
Well, we'll see. I hope not.
I do
Fleur is
love-
probably going to come out. She's going to be like some great, like, helper. Someone's going to be in a lot of trouble. She's going to use her, like, Vila skills and save someone.
Also, we have a comment here. Crabbe and Goyle would be the first ones to flunk out of Hogwarts.
Ooh,
which is
yes.
100%
Great
true.
call.
True.
Yeah, they should be out already. They're trolls.
And if Fred and
That's
George
true.
flunked out, it would only be because they're doing the
They're focusing on
Entrepreneur
business.
business
skills.
stuff. Yep.
How
They're like, forget
brilliant
it.
are
They don't
they?
need it.
The
canary.
I was thinking about the canary creams.
yeah.
Even their marketing strategy. Like, I don't think they're accidentally leaving things
I
out. They
know.
are accidentally leaving things out. So, like, you have a party in the great room or in the common room. Someone eats one accidentally and it instantly poofs into a canary. And everyone's like, it's literally the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's
Ever.
so great.
such brilliant marketers.
Yeah.
And so now people are like nervous, and they find out like when the magic kind of wears off, even like the theoretical magic of like people are like nervous about eating these little things because they're like, it could be a canary cream. So they come up with new stuff. They're so innovative. They're such brilliant marketers. Such brilliant business people.
I feel like that's another candy you got to keep in your candy and pastry tool belt.
Ooh.
You never know when you want to be a canary.
Yeah.
No, you're in one of these challenges, and Harry's
today.
like, you know what? Invisibility isn't going to cut it. It's canary time. And I don't know if he can even fly, but being a canary, it's just it might be good every once in a while.
Wait, are they flying?
Well, I don't know.
Could you have gone past a dragon as a canary?
Maybe. Or
Like,
maybe
to
you
your
would
Chop you down so fast.
But like,
Your point,
That
Fred
is a
George would be
snack.
great at this
right.
competition.
And if you can do it with
Can
a
you be
canary,
a
think of all the other
phoenix?
animals. Like, yeah, like you just turn into other
Canary
animals.
cream.
And
Can
just,
you be a phoenix
So
cream?
they should have made one where you could turn into a dragon. Then you have a duel.
wow.
And
There's a fight.
I do love how they are unapologetically themselves. And you're talking Fred. Yeah, Fred is just him. Like there is the moment when he
that's
turns
you.
around. He already knows Angelina is going to accept his date. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going out with Angelina.
Look at that confidence.
You asked her already?
Yeah.
Oi, Angelina.
I should probably do that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a bit of a show too for him, like the way he did it like that.
Yeah.
He set it up to do that.
Which is
I
brilliant.
like to think he would have been more nervous one-on-one, him and Angelina. But in that environment, it took the pressure away from the situation.
for
And
sure.
how many people were
amazing.
around?
Yeah.
A pack.
A lot. Yeah, at least
Yeah.
well, at least one. And all of his crew too.
Yeah.
And I can't help
Yeah.
think, but their dress robes are pretty
so
dreadful as
intimidating.
well.
All of them.
All the Weasleys don't have
Yeah.
great dress robes.
What?
It has to be. Like, Ron can't be the only one. Like, it's not like the twins are walking around with beautiful dress robes.
Yeah.
So they're going to this ball and they're wearing lace on their little frills or whatever, and they're going unashamed.
Yeah.
Ron is the only one that's really
As long
modifying
as you
and-
rock it and you have the
Yeah,
confidence, it
exactly,
doesn't even
yeah,
matter.
Exactly.
And I felt bad for all of the guys in Harry and Ron's room because they all felt like they didn't look good. They all were like timid and like, oh, this feels weird. I don't like these outfits. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that stinks. They're going off to the ball already feeling like not good about themselves.
Yep.
In my mind, these robes are dumb then.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be wearing something you feel good in, right? Like, isn't that the point?
This is the first time they're wearing.
Yeah, it is.
new
It's the first
robes.
time. So, like, I'd get it maybe for Harry, but at least for someone like Ron, I would think growing up watching people do wizard balls or whatever, and then you just kind of. Sorry. I know. I was like, even as I said it, I'm like, I won't be able to get through this. But, yep.
You got middle schoolers over here.
I didn't even catch that till now.
Either.
Just leave it to me.
So then,
Keep going about your wizard balls.
on how many wizard balls Ron has seen.
How many he's seen?
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, great. But still. Oh my goodness, it's too late for this.
Oh my god.
This is why
How
we can't
many
make a
balls
podcast
I know.
drinking game. It would just get worse
We would
and
be
worse.
wild. Well, maybe we'll do the movies as a drinking game or something like that.
So, anyways, you'd think Ron would be used to seeing wizards dressed up nice.
Yeah.
And that it would be like his chance to finally do this. Or at least he'd have a spell that he could do to make his robes look even better.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad that they felt like they didn't look good when they
I
went
know,
down
yeah.
to the ball. John's gonna have to cut out like multiple minutes of
Well, the
laughter.
thing
in
is,
this
with the
one.
last podcast, they don't care if they see each other's parts ever. So, like, how many wizard balls did you say? It doesn't even matter. They like flaunt it.
Here's a completely off the as a quiz question I have for you guys. There's a mention of a Bezoar in this chapter, which is an antidote. Harry forgot his Bezoar. What is it?
You remember
We've seen this before
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
in a small section in the first book. Do you know what it is?
How do you spell that?
I thought it was a root or something.
Bezoar. Bezoar. Say French.
That sounds like
Let's just call it a Bezoar.
Nope, can't remember.
So
Bazingas.
Snape uses this in his first lesson to quiz Harry. When he says all this stuff, he's like, what would I get if I mixed something full of nightshade with asphodel or something like that? And Harry doesn't know the answer. And then he goes, where would I find a beeswar? And Harry doesn't know the answer.
Hermione knows.
But yeah, Hermione knows. And the answer Snape gives later is it's a small stone found in the stomach of a goat that can heal you from almost any
Poison?
poison. Yeah, poison. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And now I remember this.
Huh?
I remember that whole
Yeah.
description. But he forgot it.
Yeah, he forgot it.
Huh.
But he just forgot it in his little antidote here. But fun little point. Nice. You guys passed the quiz. Jen crushing 100.
Yeah. Because I knew it.
There is another fun
Kill
note.
the goat?
My cheeks hurt.
Harry gets rejected by Cho. Entering the common room, Harry looked around, and to his surprise, he saw Ron sitting ashen-faced in the distant corner. Ginny was sitting with him, talking to him in what seemed to be a low, soothing voice.
That was so
What's up, Ron? Harry said, joining them.
Oh, yeah.
This is where you get him asking Fleur out, which is just so adorable. But what do you think of Ginny, actually?
I love how she like gave it to them.
Yeah.
Harry and Ron. Oh, they just both got rejected by the girls. They
She's
asked
not taking any
to
crap.
Hermione, right?
Yeah.
That's who she tells.
So good.
I like that she's there comforting Ron, like the younger sister. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
He's mortified.
I just imagine her sitting next to him, patting his arm. It's okay,
Yep.
Ron. It's all right. You'll find another one. And then at this point, who did you think Hermione was taking to the ball?
I knew it the whole time.
Really?
Oh,
You knew
really?
it was?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah,
Crump?
because she wouldn't say. If it was anyone that like they would be okay with, she would have said the name. But she knew that they wouldn't be okay with it.
Wow.
I knew it was her. I was just
nice.
waiting for her to say Crumb. I was like, yes, I know.
Brilliant of you. I love that.
I should have told you earlier so
I
that
know.
you believe me. But
Send a voice memo.
I should
John,
have.
we're at this point. I've dissected their relationship. It's Victor Crumb.
Because she didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Did you guys have the same thought, Danny? You
Nope.
didn't know
No
who it
idea.
was? Really?
I actually thought she was lying for a bit. Then I was like, is she actually going with someone? I expected like almost more of a curveball. And then as soon as Harry saw her in the blue dress, but didn't even know that it was
Didn't
her,
recognize her?
I was like, wait, could it be? That's when it first occurred to me when the door opened. And then when he like truly didn't recognize her, I was like, oh, maybe not. But then I felt silly. It made so much sense. I was like, it's brilliant. And now I kind of like them together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of relationship stuff in these chapters. It's fun.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think Harry and Pavarti are going to get married?
No.
Nah, I don't like her.
She was forcing him to dance and he didn't want to.
I think he does need someone maybe to give him some friendly nudges, but she just did it in like kind of a rough way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would Harry be best with? We don't know. Do we?
Nah.
There's no other girls except Hermione that we really know. Although
What? You think him and Hermione?
no,
Oh,
Ron's sister.
Ginny.
You think him and Ginny would be good together?
Maybe.
She's
obsessed with
young.
him.
Yeah, honestly, I
healthy?
thought they would have been cute to go to the ball together.
Yeah.
I was devastating too when Ron was like, just take Ginny. And she was like, devastating. She's like,
Yeah.
I think I'll go down to dinner.
I know.
Like she had a chance with her crush.
I know, but that was also great of her, like,
Yeah.
to even take Neville at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And then to stick by it.
Yeah.
There are those who would
She
say,
would have turned
Yeah.
him down and been like,
Yep.
Harry.
yeah, sorry, Neville, find someone else. So I respect it.
Harry and Ginny. Interesting.
I feel like I could see Harry and Hermione a little bit at some points, but now their friendship is so solid. I don't know.
Do you think Hermione and Ron together?
I really like that only because the end of 23.
Yeah.
It's like Ron,
said-
goodness
yeah.
gracious. Like, because by that point, I think the reader, we can feel that both of them wanted that to be the case, but Hermione didn't want to ask him, and she was just waiting for him to ask, and it didn't even occur to him to ask her. And she's like, I don't want to be second choice or third choice or whatever.
Yeah,
So
who
I
wants to
don't know.
be second or third choice.
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah.
So I think Ron's got to grow up a little bit, and then
Yeah.
maybe it could work.
He's got some growing up to do. We're going to talk about that next chapter. So let's get there. The Yule Ball is chapter 23, unless you guys have something else in 22. Any notes?
Well, those two. I just show up.
I didn't have much.
Nope,
this
that's
time.
it.
All right, what happens in the Yule Ball?
Oh, I didn't take notes in this one.
Chapter?
Clearly didn't finish my summary. Do you have something, Jen?
It's
I
basically-
literally wrote Sirius writes back, comma.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's true. And
Sirius
then the
writes
Yule
back,
Ball,
Christmas,
and
and the Yule Ball.
then,
Okay. I was gonna say there was
Christmas,
more.
Yule
Yeah.
Ball,
I
and
got
then
distracted.
Ron and Harry after the Yule
Oh, yeah,
Ball
yeah.
are like listening to conversations with Hagrid and with
Oh yeah, we learned about Hagrid.
and
They're having
Snape and
snowball
stuff.
fights.
Yeah, quite a few little things like that all around the Yule Ball and Christmas.
I do love this one moment too when this is later on in the chapter, but when they're having Ron is just trying to catch Hermione off guard, trying to see who she's taking, and then they're having a snowball fight outside, and Hermione leaves. It's 5:00. She has to get ready 3 hours early, and Ron turns. He goes, "Who are you taking?" And then he got caught off guard. And he got a snowball to the side of his face. I love that moment so much.
Yeah, because he's really curious.
I know.
Because he likes
He's
her.
jealous.
Yeah, he's very jealous.
But he should have noticed her.
You shouldn't
From
treat her
the
as a second
get-go.
option, last resort. But Hermione, again, is doing some significant growth here, and even her snapbacks at people. Because it says Harry and
Oh,
Ron
that
both
was
whipped
so
around,
good.
but Hermione said loudly, waving to someone over Malfoy's shoulders, "Hello, Professor Moody." Malfoy went pale and jumped backward, looking wildly around for Moody, but he was still up at the staff table finishing his stew. "Twitchy little ferret, aren't you, Malfoy?" Hermione said scathingly.
I think that was one of my favorite lines.
Yep.
Yeah.
In these 3 chapters.
Yep.
So
That was-
good.
Nailed it.
It was so stinking good. You all right, Wes? Yeah, her growth has been so much fun to see. Do you feel like she's the character that's grown the most out of the 3?
Yeah,
Because
I
of the
think
time
so.
turner, yeah.
Ron still needs to grow for sure. He's like maybe the most
Yeah.
delayed, but
Well, girls and guys.
yeah, they mature
Yeah, it makes
faster.
sense.
But speaking of Ron, there's like really cool moments. Dobby comes in and Ron throws him the jumper and some extra socks. And Dobby says this. Dobby knew Sir must be a great wizard, for he is Harry Potter's greatest friend. But Dobby did not know that he was also generous of spirit, as noble, as selfless. And then it cuts off. Do you think Ron is those things? Do you think he's really generous of spirit? Do you think he's noble? Do you think he's selfless?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually do. Maybe he hasn't fully realized it yet,
Yeah.
but it's all there. And I feel like we saw some of that during the chess match. Even like because we talked in one of the episodes recently about that, where he got like barely recognized for it. But in that moment, I think he thought he was going to die when he sacrificed his piece so that Harry could move on. Like that doesn't get more noble than that, you know?
And there's one of Ron's greatest moments when he has a broken leg in the Shrieking Shack,
Yeah.
and he goes, "You're gonna
yeah.
have to kill me before you get
Yeah.
to Harry."
So
Incredible
we're seeing
moment.
that multiple times. Like, you know, he's immature, but
Yeah.
he's great.
My heart actually melted when Dobby said that. Because sometimes
Yeah.
you just
Yes.
need to hear that.
For sure.
And I think Ron hearing that is almost like a nudge
Yeah.
for him.
Like Ron
Maybe he'll
finally
take
got
that.
the encouragement that
Yes.
he's not getting normally.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if this happened in a good moment of Ron where he truly was being noble, he just didn't want the jumper. I'm like, if that happened in a moment when Ron was being truly noble, it would be really impactful. But in this, he's like, yikes, I just gave him a jumper and socks.
was
that I
better
don't
than
want.
what-
Better than Harry.
What Harry?
Goodness
Yeah.
I know.
gracious. I was so annoyed at Harry.
Me
Did he
too.
think for once in his life that he like about anyone but himself? No.
No, but
Not a single present? Oh my goodness.
I am going to
Stand up for him.
stand up for Harry just a little bit because he puts the socks on immediately, which makes Dobby tear up. Like there's a great moment. I actually wrote this down, I think.
But of all the things he could have given Dobby, he gives the
I think that's what got
Agreed.
me.
this is
Like
what got
his
me.
gross
He
socks.
pulled out a
His oldest
particularly
and
not
foulest pair of
Yeah.
socks. You have how much stuff that
He
like
is
you
so
could give,
filthy rich, I know.
and that's what you're gonna give Dobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, cut
Agreed.
you off.
And
but
then
I
he
got annoyed about it.
unrolled the sneakoscope to get to the socks. And I thought he was going to give him the sneakoscope, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that's a little better."
Yeah.
Nope.
And then he gives
just
him the socks.
I was like,
Could have given him the little toy dragon. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, that thing is really cool.
yeah. And then even then, Dobby gives him socks too, so that was cute. They both get socks.
Yeah.
But like,
He
Dobby-
needed it.
That it was like made with love. He saved up his money.
Snitch on one and a broomstick on the other.
Yeah, brilliant. Like Dobby is actually giving a great gift. Socks can be a great gift, but Harry, come on. But Dobby caught him off guard. That's one
and
thing.
And Dobby wouldn't have cared for a sneakoscope. He wouldn't have cared for a little dragon. He wants clothes. So
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, how much clothes does Harry have that he could have given
I know,
him?
for sure. He could have given him
Anything
something
else
else,
his
something
foulest
nicer.
socks.
For
Nasty pair of
sure.
socks
Handed
that were
down to him from Uncle
But maybe,
Vernon.
But maybe Dobby
that's
wants
the
his
most
foul
loved
socks. Exactly.
because he wore it the most, and the foulest socks of.
Or he's had
And
them for
worn.
the longest, yeah. These are
Or-
like Harry.
yeah.
So he's putting them in his treasure chest. These are the socks that Harry Potter has had the longest.
Yeah.
Passed down from generation to generation.
I still don't like it.
That's fair. I mean,
No, I don't like it.
Because Dobby, when Harry pulls the socks on, it causes Dobby's eyes to leak with happiness. So, I mean, it proves that Dobby is a truly incredible person. Not really that Harry's an incredible person. Too.
Yep.
But Harry does wear the socks to the ball, too. Love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
they're pretty
Moody
sad socks,
sees through his socks and goes, "Oh, nice socks,
which
Potter."
is so creepy.
Yeah.
And I love that he got called out
I
immediately.
know. Yeah. Because Parvati was like, "He's so creepy, isn't he?"
And that's exactly what I was thinking. Yes.
What kind of. Nope. Nothing.
Yeah. Ron has moments of I think true brilliance here, but maybe he just needs some kind of encouragement or some kind of nudge in the right direction. He just still has too many of his insecurities and immaturities boiling up for him. But I really do think he's one of my favorite characters. He's a doofus, but he really defends and stands up for
Ron?
people that he loves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love him. Crumb was accompanied by a pretty girl in blue robes. Harry didn't know. His eyes fell instead on the girl next to, or this happens later. His eyes fell instead on the girl next to Crumb. His jaw dropped. It was Hermione. Love that. So freaking good. So good. We talked about this before. But one of my questions was, what do you think about Crumb and Hermione? Which we kind of already talked about a little bit. But we get another little fun note where they're talking about Dumbledore and Karkaroff are talking. And Karkaroff goes, "Are we not right to be proud that we alone know our school's secrets and our right to protect them?" "Oh, I would never dream of assuming I know all of Hogwarts' secrets, Igor," said Dumbledore amicably. "Only this morning, for instance, I took a wrong turn on the way to a bathroom and found myself in a beautifully proportioned room I have never seen before, containing a really rather magnificent collection of chamber pots. When I went back to investigate more closely, I discovered that the room had vanished." How do you guys like Dumbledore? We
always
talked about him
I
before.
feel like
but-
he says like the right things at the right time. Like,
Yeah.
He's so whimsical.
Yeah.
Like you said, he just knows what to say to either like throw people off or whatever. But
It's awesome.
Someone in our subreddit said that the guy who acted him in the books didn't read any of the books, or acted him in the movies didn't read any of the movies. And
yeah,
you get that.
We
100%.
were totally
Yeah,
saying
we
that
were saying
every
that
time
the
we
whole time.
watch a movie.
But it ticks me off so much because he is like whimsical in the movies a little bit, but he's whimsical and wise and is in control. In the movies, he doesn't seem like that.
no.
Yeah, you're right. He always feels like he's in control.
Yeah.
Like he already knows what he's going to say and how people are going to react. Like he's just many steps ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it just gives him this like calmness that he just like says what he's going to say. And he's got a twinkle in his eye because he's just so wise. It's awesome.
Yes.
I also want to know what room that is.
I feel like he made it up.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering the
Really?
same thing. Like, did he just make that up entirely?
I feel like he was just making it up
Like
to
a story,
give
a little-
Karkaroff like a, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know everything. And I don't know, like the whole, I forget the context of it all, but it was basically
Yeah.
Karkaroff saying like, don't give away our secrets. And then Dumbledore is kind of like, well, who knows all the secrets? Like, even if you told me where you are, it doesn't mean that we're going to like know all your secrets. Because, and then he goes into his story.
Yeah.
So I took it as not as just a story to help with the situation.
I think I landed on the opposite side of it, but I thought that too for a bit.
Of course.
Typical.
Classic me. Only because I was trying to think of what Dumbledore had said to Harry about help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who need it or who ask.
So
and I
needs
thought
help
this
going
was
to the
like
bathroom.
actually it. Like you have to go to the bathroom. He was saying if you have to go bad enough, it might appear. And I just think that's hilarious that like help at Hogwarts, no matter what you need, you really got to go, and a bathroom might literally just appear for you.
So it's just a room that happens anytime you require like the bathroom or, you know, you just get it immediately.
And like, it's
That'd
just
be
kind
great.
of cool that like Hogwarts could have magic like that built in. Or maybe Dumbledore is going above and beyond and he's just making a ridiculous statement that
Yeah.
not even possible. But I still think it's funny.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And why is Crouch not here? Fishy. Again, he's
yeah.
not showing up.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
sending someone
Percy.
instead of him.
Feel good
It
or
was
something?
Winky at the World Cup, and now it's Percy. Yeah, and Percy was like telling Mr. Crouch isn't well. Not well at all. Hasn't been right since the World Cup. Hardly surprising. Overwork.
His secrets are being exposed, it feels like more so. So gotta play low. Lay low.
Yeah.
He's being fishy as anything.
He's
right
getting
now.
less trustworthy. It's like weird because the characters, there's like, I don't know.
What is
Like,
he in charge of again?
Yeah, do you guys
The
don't
min-
remember?
Legal? No.
I think
No, it's
magical cooperation.
international
International
cooperation.
magical cooperation, I think.
So
How different ministries of magic function together, how different countries function within their magic laws, I guess.
That plays into something. I just don't know.
It is weird though, because there's a few characters and they just like slowly rise and fall with their trustworthiness.
Yep.
Like there's a bunch of them, and you just don't know if you trust certain ones. You don't know if you mistrust. Is that the word? Distrust, untrust. I don't know. It's
It's all
getting late.
right. I don't know either.
Trust.
But we talked about this for a quick second. But why do you think Ron is actually so angry here?
Which part?
Yeah.
in general,
Just in general, especially at the end. Why do you think Ron is like so?
Because he didn't
Even-
go on a
yeah.
date with Hermione.
So like he's even
like,
sitting on the
jealous.
side, just pissed
Yeah,
at
he's jealous.
everything that's happening. Do you think this is just a purely jealous moment? Do you think jealousy can make someone become just like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To quote a movie, love makes you do crazy things.
What movie is that
Any
from?
movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's actually from a movie.
Let me think.
Anyone?
It sounds very familiar because I know
Older.
that I've heard it.
If you get this, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, maybe I won't get it then. Ugh. I give up.
No, Wicker Park.
I haven't even heard of
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna be impressed.
Yeah, I did feel like it was maybe he didn't realize how into Hermione he was until she had a date
Crap.
with someone else, and then he realized maybe he viewed her as a backup plan,
Mhm.
and then he was like, "Oh, I don't even have a backup plan anymore."
Yeah. He's a funny dude, but we'll
Yeah.
talk about him in a second though, because there's this more important line on that I think. It goes, "Don't you see what there is to fuss about, Igor?" Or sorry, Snape goes, "Don't see what there is to fuss about, Igor. Severus, you cannot pretend this isn't happening." Karkaroff's voice sounded anxious and hushed, as though keen not to be overheard. It's been getting clearer and clearer for months. I'm becoming seriously concerned. I cannot deny it. Then flee, said Snape curtly. Flee. I will make your excuses. I, however, am remaining at Hogwarts. Let's talk about this for a little bit. What is going on in this discussion? Why is Karkaroff worried? And what is Snape's background that Karkaroff is with Snape?
I feel like after you just read it now, I have a totally different take on it since my first impression. Because at first I thought they were in like they were both like dark wizards and like hiding it. But now I feel like maybe they had some connection to Voldemort, and maybe Karkaroff is actually trying to be good, and he's seeing all these dark wizard mark stuff or whatever come about, and he's seeing Voldemort is gaining more power, and he wants to hide from them because he's gonna get in trouble because he just gave a ton of names to Azkaban.
Yeah.
So he wants to hide, and Sirius is maybe somehow was close with him because maybe there was a connection in the past. Maybe they went to no, they didn't go to school together, right? They didn't say that.
Well, we don't know where Karkaroff went.
So maybe they did.
We kind of assume he went to Durmstrang, but he could have come to Hogwarts with Snape. Or maybe you can transfer.
So yeah, a part of me just thinks like now Snape is like, no, I'm standing my ground protecting Hogwarts from these dark wizards.
Oh, okay.
And Karkaroff, you're scared of them because you just gave up a bunch of them. So now if you want to go.
Yeah. It could easily be that.
What is getting clear to them?
That Voldemort is gaining power. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it's the same thing that's becoming clearer to Moody and to Sirius, that like these rumors that Voldemort is, you know, a little more powerful than before. Something's happening. There are more dark wizards than they've seen in recent time. I feel like that's the trend, the darker trend. But I can't tell if that's exactly what Karkaroff is talking about. Like, is he worried that bad things are going to go down here and he wants to avoid collateral damage? Or are they both good and that's what they're talking about? Is this noble of Snape? That's not how I read it the first time. But
yeah, me neither. But then
could
listening to him, I read it, I'd change my mind. I don't know.
I gotta be careful how I read things now.
You didn't. No, you
Can't read any
didn't read
nobility
anything.
into
I'm just like listening to it again.
Yeah.
It's not any tone you use.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you talked a little bit about Snape's background. Do you think that his background truly is noble, or do you think his background is dark? What is this? What does this shed light on for Snape's background?
It depends which direction I want to go with that line.
Yeah.
It's a small little turn. It could be really positive. It could be really negative.
Yeah,
Well, he went to
don't know.
Hogwarts, but so did Voldemort.
Yeah, and he got bullied at Hogwarts.
Right.
But I still have this idea that him and Dumbledore have like been through things before. Like they've got like history, whether it's from way back in the day and he just never left Hogwarts. And I feel like Snape is going down a bad path. But maybe not. Maybe Karkaroff went to Snape first when he got out of Azkaban and said, I made a deal. Now I'm out. Can you help me get a job?
Yeah. That's about me. Durmstrang.
But they are on first name basis.
So they're
It's just like
the
pretty
same
cozy.
age.
Like that almost gives me childhood vibes. I don't remember, but I feel like Snape doesn't call people by their first name.
But they're probably around the same age.
Yeah, but even with other like teachers, I'm just trying to think about it. It feels like he's more formal with people. I just can't remember. We don't hear him like greet people by name, but even like Moody's a little different. He's uncomfortable with Moody. I don't know.
Yeah. This is definitely one that's at least on your radar for like, okay, something weird is going on. We gotta figure this out.
It's a big moment in one way or the other. We
Yeah.
just don't know how yet.
Yeah. But then we find out this one little thing of Hagrid being a half giant. This is one of the last questions. What do you think about that?
I wasn't shocked, but then when Ron's explaining it, you're like, wait, what? They're like dangerous.
Yeah.
They kill.
People are really terrified of them.
Yeah. And then I'm like, wait, what? He's like the opposite of all that.
I know, because you said Hagrid's your favorite character, even Danny. So you're like, these people are supposed to be great, and then even Ron is like, if people knew Hagrid, they wouldn't be nervous or anything like that. He's like,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But just the stigma of being a
But now the Madame Maxine knows, and I feel like the rumors are going to spread, and then our kids not going to be allowed to be near Hagrid.
yeah.
I was getting weird vibes as I was reading, and I was like, is Madame Maxime his mom? It just kind of was weird, where I was like, oh, this is weird. Because then I was just thinking back to the other things, and I was like, maybe I read romance into it, or we were supposed to even, but it wasn't. And then I was like,
weird.
all right, cool. He's not like making some big old statement. But the fact that his mom left and he was like leading into this whole thing, I was like, what's happening here?
It's like very Freudian.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Oh my gosh.
But then I love that Harry, even from the bushes, could tell. Don't say it, Hagrid.
Yeah,
don't
I
say
know.
it. It's a bad idea. Whatever
He's like
you're
trying to
say,
look at
don't
this
say
beetle
it.
over there, and in his head he's like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it."
But he couldn't help
I
it.
know. Freaking Hagrid.
I thought he was gonna be like, "I love you, Maxine."
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Fleur went with someone from Hogwarts. I feel like that was nice of her, unless it was some weird manipulation or trying to get like the inside scoop.
I was
But
surprised about that too.
I felt like that was kind of a cool move. Like go with someone from Hogwarts. Yeah. Seems legit.
You remember his name? Roger Davies.
Roger Davies.
I think it was Roger Davies.
That sounds right. I think it was along those lines.
That's interesting. I'd never actually thought about that. Maybe she's like bored of all the other people at Beauxbaton. Durmstrang, they're too brutish of a lot. She couldn't get Crumb, so she's like, if I can't get Crumb, I'm not. Like, who else is there?
Yeah, right.
She
One of
wanted
the other
Crumb
less
or
worthy people.
She wanted Crumb. I
I don't think she wanted Crumb, but I'm like, Crumb's the most
it was
popular person there. Maybe she wanted Cedric, and Cho got Cedric first. Maybe,
That I could see.
Yeah.
maybe Floor's on her third option right now. She wanted Cedric, then she wanted Crumb. Now she's on Roger Davies.
It's just funny because she could turn on her like Beulah thing. I
know.
It only works for some guys, not all.
Yeah. He was like mesmerized with her. She was like
I
talking.
know.
He was like, yeah. And he hits his hand on the table.
That's right.
And even Ron going to ask
Yeah.
her
I
out.
know.
I don't even know what came over me. I just asked.
I love that. Oh, I love that so much.
Why are they trying to do a international ban on dueling? That feels weird since Hogwarts had a
Transylvania.
dueling club like
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
2 books ago.
Well, it's in Transylvania. Maybe there's a lot of vampires dueling out there. So
Right. Okay. Yeah. They're trying to get them looped in.
Yeah.
Or maybe like full adult wizard dueling gets way too intense. So they have to stop it, but it's still a good practice for the youngins.
I
in case
imagine
the worst
maybe
should
the more
happen.
official dueling, like what dueling would be back in like early America when people line up, shoot each other with guns. Like maybe that's like, maybe you can do
Like only regulated,
Yeah,
officiated
exactly.
dueling. You
Yeah,
can't get in a bar fight,
Yeah.
but you can box in the ring.
Yeah. Or but maybe the regulated official type is the type that they don't want because someone is going to die. in this. It's like a
maybe
duel to the
altogether.
death.
They're like, yeah, none of that.
Yeah, like the old rules of dueling are done. You can duel with someone, just like have a little fight, but you're not going to try to kill that person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. That's a fun one. Any other points in this chapter?
Oh, it annoyed me that the Dursleys sent him a tissue. Why
Yeah, these
are they
such
even
weird
bothering
gifts.
sending him anything? I'll never get off that.
It's like surprising. It just makes no sense.
Right.
They're putting effort in
Right.
to
Just-
make him feel bad. They're like, oh, we haven't made fun of him in a while. Let's send him a weird
But
gift.
that is the Dursleys.
So strange.
Yeah.
That is the Dursleys. They would put effort
makes
into
sense.
making someone feel miserable, particularly Harry.
Wasn't a
I'm just
Only
surprised
Harry.
they
toothpick
spend
was
money.
last time.
Yeah, toothpick. It was like a little money the other time, and it was socks the time before, I think. So
bizarre.
crappy gifts all around. They're so weird. So weird.
Oh, I had a random thought. Since we've been talking about the passwords and why they do that, what if it's not about having a password like for security purposes, but to teach the children responsibility?
That makes
different
more
little
sense
angle.
than anything else. I like that.
Yeah, that does make a lot more sense.
weird
than anything
little-
else.
And that's why
Random
even the
angle change,
painting, the
but-
fat lady, she's like,
Drunk, and she goes, Larry fights.
yeah, she like doesn't even really care. She's like, whatever, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Great, well done.
Yeah,
That makes so much more sense.
because Hogwarts would do that. That's a good thing that Hogwarts is all about the responsibility of the student.
I feel like I need to call her the curvy lady.
Yeah,
It's like weird. I don't like calling
Yeah.
her the fat lady. I just don't like it.
the curvy lady. We'll call her the curvy lady from now on. We need to get T-shirts made of that. Fat lady equals the curvy lady.
Oh man, when
Oh my gosh, I loved. What part was this? When Ron went back at Snape, he said, "We're walking, not against the law, is it?"
oh yeah.
Like, yeah,
Little
That's
snapback. Ron
Yes.
standing up. I love it.
so good.
And I like when Hermione says, "Next time there's a ball, ask me before someone else does,
Yeah.
and not as a last resort."
Oh,
Such a
I'm
great
glad she
line.
like said her piece.
go
You
girl.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great
She's
line.
mature, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Next time there's a ball, ask me before someone else does, and not as a last resort. Ron mouthed soundlessly like a goldfish out of water as Hermione turned on her heel and stormed up to the girls' staircase to bed. I love that. So good.
And I like how Harry knows Ron missed the point.
Yep.
Like, yes.
Because Ron turns to Harry and he's like, oh, she completely missed the point there. And Harry, in his head, he's like, Hermione got the better of the argument there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He lost. Any other points in this chapter?
I think that was it for me.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite character in these 3 chapters? Who wins the house cup?
I like Hermione.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah,
I'll go with her
same.
too. Twitchy little ferret. Won me
Yeah,
over.
twitchy little ferret one.
she had
Won me
great
over.
lines.
Yeah.
And she got the guy. She got
Yeah.
her glow
Yeah.
up, and now
Yeah.
she's
Got an international
Taking center
Quidditch
stage.
sensation. The greatest seeker of a generation she landed.
But he can't say her name, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, and literally, I was
Oh
saying
yeah, because
before,
you
that's the
referenced that
point.
before. Yeah.
She didn't. No one knew how to say it, and so she said. Most people said Hermione, and that's how she wrote it in the book of the mispronunciation. And then she's like Hermione. Love that.
I feel like I do usually say it as 3 syllables. Maybe I should enunciate a little more. Hermione. Sounds
I kind of
weird.
say that as 3 syllables, like
Hermione.
Hermione. Yeah.
Hermione.
But I just now I'm like doubting it. I'm like, well, she says it's 4
Hermione.
syllables.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she wins it all around in this chapter. She just
Yeah.
crushes it.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbledore maybe, but not he just has some cute little lines in this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite moment in these chapters? Twitchy little ferret?
I mean, I
That's
love
great.
twitchy little ferret.
Yeah. What's your favorite moment though?
Me going back to my scenery. There's
In this chapter and all 3?
In all 3.
all 3.
Uh,
I loved this paragraph on page 404 in chapter 23, where it says, the snow was falling thickly upon the castle and its grounds now. The pale blue Beauxbaton carriage looked like a large, chilly, frosted pumpkin next to the iced gingerbread house that was Hagrid's cabin, while the Durmstrang ship's portholes were glazed with ice, the rigging white with frost. I just thought that was really... I loved that.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of winter. I love winter.
There were so many
And then
great
Fleur
moments in these
complaining about
chapters.
everything.
Yeah.
At Beauxbaton, at our castle, we have ice sculptures.
Yeah, that never melt.
Yeah. There were so many good ones. Dobby's moments were really great in these chapters when he literally like wraps Harry around in a hug so tight. Even though Dobby's like an annoying character from this point, I love that.
Yeah.
And then Fred and George. Fred is just so clutch in these chapters. Love
So
his little
good.
individuality.
And
Oh, yeah.
absolutely
Him
not.
asking.
Yeah. Asking her out was great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
And Christmas morning was cool too.
Yeah.
I like that Hermione got her Cinderella moment, coming in looking
Yeah.
all great.
Yeah.
So all these little moments that just like, it was just great. Easy
Yeah.
chapters. Nobody's gonna die in these chapters. Like it. I never felt stressed for anyone
Yeah.
like that, but it just felt like just good, fun school stuff.
Yeah.
You know, It was
And that's the
great.
stuff that you want too. Like I put out a
Yeah.
question on our subreddit of like what moments are your favorite in the Harry Potter world, and a few people wrote like the best are when we just get small moments of them in the classroom or them living day-to-day life
Yeah.
in Hogwarts.
So
Like
true.
it would be boring. Some people are I think maybe it would be boring to have like just an entire year where nothing bad happens to Harry, but some of us would love that. I feel like I would love that. Just give me like a normal school year where he's like learning lessons and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the next lesson? I'm like,
yeah.
so into that. I
Like
love
you could
that.
do
Just
a
like the
deleted scene
shenanigans
book of just like
Yeah.
all the in between moments.
Yeah,
that,
Yeah, and the
you know?
shenanigans of
Yeah,
kids.
seriously.
And like,
like studying in the common room together. It's
Right.
like so wonderful. But Jen, what's your favorite moment in these chapters?
oh,
Got to put you on the spot.
I see that. I liked everything we were saying before.
Yeah, I know we
but I
stole
don't
all of them
wanna
pretty
say,
much.
Like, ditto.
You can say you can just say ditto.
I know, but that seems kind of lame. But I think I'm gonna have to, because otherwise we're gonna be in silent for a little bit. Silence.
Sorry, I can always edit this out.
You guys picked all the good ones.
If Kristen says something good, I just repeat it, and then
Repeat it in a different way.
it's my version of ditto. Like, yeah, I like that too. When Hermione did that.
I know, but when I was listening, there was such great.
I'm trying to think of like any information. Did you like down in the kitchens with the house elves? Because that kind of fed you a little bit of information. Sort of.
Or I mean, you crushed it with the who Hermione was going with.
Yeah, that was really
it was so obvious and easy for you. I remember first time reading, I'm like,
Really?
who's she going with? And the next chapter I found out, I'm like, yeah, go for her. Maybe I'm just dull on a guy, but it was so easy for you. I was like, that is impressive to me.
Yeah, when she wouldn't tell him, like, oh, yep, because she tells him everything.
Yeah.
And it would just, it
really?
was like embarrassing
That's so
it a little
interesting.
bit because they would always,
I feel like she doesn't tell them everything.
except the thing,
Hermione's got her
like
secrets.
what?
Like the time turner was a
Well,
big one.
she made a promise to McGonagall. She keeps her word, and
That's
she's
true.
a rule follower.
I feel like she goes off, solves the problem, comes back. Like even when she was petrified,
Like what?
she had like the clues written down, like she was going to tell them. But I feel like that's
She was
kind of her thing.
going to
Like
tell
run off to the library, do a little
what I
research,
just
come
said.
back. Like she figures things out and then comes to them with like solutions. Maybe that's why it sometimes feels like she's not working through the problems with them necessarily. But the time turner, I think, is the main one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, she's off doing her own
You
thing.
can't even include that in anything though, because that was a deal with McGonagall, and
you
she's
think that
keeping her
because
word.
keeping her word to McGonagall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a woman of her word.
Yep. We can say that much for sure.
She's great.
So yeah.
House Cup winner.
Yeah.
Wait, all around? Unanimous?
Unanimous House Cup winner for Hermione.
Love it.
I know.
And did she win last week? Oh, no, it was Harry.
Harry
obviously,
won last
because
week,
of
defeated the dragon. But
Well, Sirius talks
Yeah.
about how he would have given the curse. We finally learned
I know
which curse
exactly.
it was.
Yeah, seriously,
that was
a
nice.
good moment. Yeah.
And it was the one Crumb used.
Well, I was
and
laughing
I was
because I was
dying.
actually re-listening to the podcast, and you went off on Crumb
I know.
doing that, and I was like, "That's what Sirius was gonna tell him to do."
Yeah.
But Hermione was like, yours was even better, Harry.
Yeah.
What you did was better, which I love. Or did Sirius say that?
No, Hermione like whispered it in between. It was written in the letter.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, and then Hermione
Non-italic
whispered, but your way was better. I'm impressed.
Love that.
Which is so great. And it's probably true because it barely worked for
Yeah.
Crumb.
Yeah. Yeah. These were great chapters, but now we get to go even more. It's going to be exciting. We get to read.
Is this where it really gets good?
Guys, this is where it gets so good.
But every time you say it, you're right.
Yeah,
Because it keeps
I'm
getting
telling
so
you.
good.
I am telling you, every chapter gets better and better and better from this point on. So after every podcast, I should just end it, guys. This is when the chapters get really good.
Yeah.
Your signature ending.
I know.
I love it.
Anyway, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
I had our theme song stuck in my head today.
Yeah.
I love that.
When I heard it on the podcast, I had to pause it at work, and then I just like went through it in my head and then just kept humming it.
It just gets stuck up there. It's such a good song. It's such a good one. Thank you, Jacob Petrus.